You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
We do not forget. Expect us.
This is a message to all supporters, a message to all freedom fighters, to all dissenters, to all forgotten, a call to all intellectuals, to all journalists, a call to all freethinkers, a call for intelligence. This is a call to all poets, a call to the strong and the weak, a call to all young people, to the wise, to the astucious. We want you to join us. We are on the streets of Tokyo, in the skyscrapers of New York, in the lanes of Paris, in the cellars of Munich, on Moscow's icy places, on the cobbled streets of Dublin. This is a call to all people, to the youth. Join us in the fight for freedom of information. Search for us, and you will find us. We are among you. We are you. Everyone you speak with can be a member of Anonymous. We have no leaders, only an orientation. We have no targets, only results. You cannot stop us because we are an idea. We cannot be eliminated because we are invisible. If you try to mock us, we will mock ourselves. If you try to slander us, we will accept the defamation. We are the king's jesters with daggers. We are the dancing bear which tears to pieces the laughing mob. We are anonymous. We are a legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us, just as we expect you.
councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
and welcome to Anonymous Bites Back, episode 137. We are back.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year's, yeah.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.
We made it.
This will be our third year, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to jump into something that has popped up in the last 24 hours to our hacker community. There was a Twitter profile going by I don't remember. It was some weird handle, but you can find him on Reddit and Steam it. He's going by a screen name, or they I don't know if it's a he. It might be a lone wolf. I'm not sure. They're going by Dark Overlord. Apparently they've been releasing zip files. I really haven't delved into them. Planning on opening one of them in a VM, but apparently these are a treasure trove of hacked 9/11 documents proving it was a cover-up. So they are also offering a ransom if the demands aren't met. I believe that some of them are encrypted, and they will release the encryption keys if the demands aren't being met. This could all be a facade, but apparently one of the files actually does have something in it, which does leak to stolen intelligence files.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean these files do exist, and we haven't, for all sorts of reasons we were talking beforehand, just that for security reasons we can't. When someone sends us a zip file, we don't immediately open it and install it on our computers, right? So it does take time for us to go through and verify information, and verify accounts, verify where the information came from, and there's details that I think between the hosts that we have that we can pretty clearly tell whether it's real or whether it's not.
Well, there is some legitimacy to this, because what I am seeing is that the Dark Overlord was predominantly posting after the Twitter account was suspended. I was posting a lot of shit on Facebook, and the posts on Pastebin have been removed, and that's leading me more towards a this is the real deal. I mean, it could be all a show, just like what is it, the Shadow Brokers, or wherever the fuck they were going by. But this could all be a show, but I don't know. It's leading more towards these are the real deal.
And I mean, really, I haven't heard anything on the corporate media side, on the government side, that this is even on their radar.
No, it's actually no. It's only been. I think maybe I really haven't been seeing it pressed around other than the Anon community, and some independent reporters are talking about this, but nobody else is really picking up on this shit.
No, not on this specific event with them surrounding this crew, but they have been mentioned like last year, and I think even the year before that by different media for other hacks and blackmail attempts.
Do you think they're the Shadow Brokers? They could have just rebranded themselves.
It's very possible, but Shadow Brokers were just like selling stuff on the dark web. These guys were actually like blackmailing.
Well, I mean that's
companies.
Change, there's several. A bunch of the newspapers were being held under ransomware. Like, ransomware is the way to go, and that it can't really be traced back to you. Use cryptocurrency. It's better than just straight up selling it. You can get a lot more from the people that don't want it getting out. Your enemies will buy it, but you'll pay a lot more to not have it dropped on, to have your information kept quiet.
Well, yeah, I think Dark Overlord was specifically asking the United States government to pay up, or they would release all the documents. And so far, nothing has been deposited into their
guys that are doing
Bitcoin wallet.
These guys that are doing this ransomware shit, the guys that are winning. Can you help us balance water here? Just in one of the fucking stipulations. of the ransomware be like, look, you got to give us $1 million, and you got to give us $1 million to fix Flint's water. No. Well, no, because I don't expect them. They're, you're a bank robber. That's not what I'm talking. I'm saying rob the fucking bank. Go nuts.
Well, I mean, historically, ransomware doesn't really pay out. I mean, I think the guys from the WannaCry, they only walked away with like 60,000 or something. Like it was something really low.
I mean, there's ones that we don't hear about. There's information that people don't. I mean, there's a reason why you're called a data broker. This isn't always small scale. It's a whole industry. Some of it big, some of it small. They exploit those pictures of you on the weekend with your side chick, right? That's worth $100 million, $100,000 to to a wealthy businessman that wants to keep appearances. They used to get blackmailed with random pictures. Now they get blackmailed with the emails that you send back and forth, things like that. And it's not always, hey, I want $1 billion from the U.S. government. It's normally, a single person. I'm just saying donate a small percentage, pull a Dillinger, right? A Robin Hood. I'm not saying you're not you're not a merry man. I'm just saying you share the wealth a little bit.
Yeah, so in the comments they ask if we actually have the files already.
Yeah.
The files are released. Yeah, we have them, but we're dealing with some encryption codes. I think there were 4 encryption codes and 1 is released now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so with the either we are going to wait like super long before it's decrypted, or we can assume that some more codes will be dropped soon. So.
Yeah, I mean, we have to, once we can go through and really show that it's, prove that it's legit, and we get some authenticity behind it, then I would look for the second one to be, to release, be that much more devastating, and then we'll see what's next.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, we do have kind of the same stuff from WikiLeaks and some others, too, that tend to have, some really juicy information.
Yeah, that's very true too. I mean, these files were also removed already, and
yes, they've been removed from quite a few places, so this might be the real deal.
Yeah, so I mean,
yeah.
If it was fake, I would think that they would let it up. They normally only take down things that they fear for one reason or another.
Oh, remember when somebody did a Reaper program on the FBI and posted all of the FBI emails and MD5? They actually had all of the clear text passwords were all put in there. Yeah, they took that down.
Like so splitting hairs on certain things. It's like, okay, we need undeniable proof, like glove in hand. Look, we know 9/11 was a fucking setup. Like, why are we doing this? Like, ooh, there's new emails proving yes, 9/11 was a fucking setup. This isn't even breaking news. Your average 11-year-old knows that.
Yeah, hey, but if you can get FBI email addresses and clear text passwords with a pre-made tool, then the government has a problem, and you as a hacker don't really have a problem. I think the government is in deep shit then.
Yeah, remember they were all over Pastebin. I remember that shit was getting passed around like it was fucking candy, like it was like 2016, and I was like, holy shit, what is this? And they're like, and I was like, oh fuck, this is really some dangerous information.
On the wholesale, like, from genocide downward that the U.S. is a part of, like, oh, we have undeniable truth that you set up 9/11. Well, I mean, we already know that you lied to Congress, went in and lied to the UN, like, set it up. We know the whole war was a setup. We know that. That's not even like hidden. But there's nothing about it. George Bush is a fucking war criminal. Caused the deaths of millions of people, right? Caused thousands of U.S. soldiers to go to their death. Is personally responsible for the 24 deaths of U.S. soldiers per day, because they have to go home and know that they killed people for what they thought was freedom that was really just profit for you and fucking Halliburton. And you're allowed to go and paint and open libraries and give speeches and go to your daddy's fucking funeral, right? Shake hands with the fucking FBI. Like, what proof do you need? What the fuck are you going to do about it is the point.
Well, you can do what the Dark Overlord is doing about it.
Fuck out of it. Like like there comes like if it's like, well, you're releasing information that we already so very know.
Yeah, we already know it.
Well, yeah,
To be honest, if they really wanted to release it, why didn't they release it to like WikiLeaks or something or Crypto.me? But yeah,
Well,
maybe this is better. I don't know.
yeah, I think for them, for their own personal, maneuvering, for our side, any information that proves the truth is good for us. How it gets out, that's all like a news story that we're covering. I support anybody that has that information to get it out to as many people as possible, as many ways as possible. If you got to blackmail fucking people, I don't care, right? The revolution will not be televised, right, by any and any means necessary. Right? We have to take down these monsters by every tool that we have. And this is definitely one of them. And it's because people won't take the undeniable truth that's right in front of them. They have to have this, you know what I mean? It's beyond, there's where you have got proof in the shadow of a doubt. I mean, this is beyond the shadow of a doubt. Like Building 7 didn't fall down out of goodwill.
I know, and I don't understand how the American public ever bought that either.
Well, no, there's actually only been one set of buildings to ever fall down ever due to fire. Ever.
No, that Building 7 story is obvious. It's so obvious. I mean, everyone can see that this is implosion for the start, and that is done with explosives and.
Well, yeah, and
I think
we know the
yeah.
reason. With the huge investigation going on, our government is so backwards that they held all of it in one place in paperwork, and they blew that motherfucker up. The same way that a bunch of police departments that are now being overseen are just, are magically destroying all of their paper records.
Apparently, they didn't destroy all of them because.
Okay, our opponents do not understand how the internet works. These are the people that are the top of security and sit on boards and tell their underlings to go home and smash up their cell phone. Right? They don't understand how the internet works. Unplugging your phone doesn't make it go away. Pressing delete on your email doesn't make it go away. Like they don't understand how once something's online, it's there forever. We'll eventually get a hold of it.
Yeah, well, about the Building 7, I was always shocked about how did people not wake up to it. I mean, even if the explosive experts from other countries were not enough, like Danny Yuenko and stuff. I mean, even from my own country, then why not? Why were architects and engineers 9/11 truth of Richard Gage not enough? I mean, they made a big stir about it.
Division, right? So I mean, at this very moment, you look at the right left politics that we have, the demonizing of the Trump voters, even, right? But if you went up there and asked them about 9/11, you'd have a completely different view, because out of all the shit that you don't agree on, right? That's where that whole movement was coming from. That's where Alex Jones and controlled opposition comes into play. Because all of us on the left also know that, but it's something that you will never see anybody, any media, any journalist on the left ever ask a Trump supporter at a rally, right? Ever ask any far right, because you will immediately start getting into that same thing. They also know that Building 7 and 9/11 was a setup. They were the ones that pushed it, right? The truthers.
Yeah, and there was a bunch of groups pushing it at the same time, but yeah.
But they were overwhelmingly on the right.
I don't know where We Are Change is on it, but they made a bunch of documentaries shortly after.
I guess most.
Except for the government's review shows it being a setup. So I mean that pretty much proves it, right? I mean, what else do you need?
Well, yeah, there was all sorts of shady shit, like all of the rubble was transported and destroyed without whole lot of forensic investigation. There was a lot of weird shit that was going on.
Oh, what? Your very next call is to the Saudis to tell them to leave the country immediately. The entire country is a no-fly zone except for these guys' private jets. Am I clear?
Yeah, and then there were these insurance policies put on these buildings, and then there was this missing money at the Pentagon, all of these things, and then the contents of building number 7, like there were like a CIA headquarters and that stuff. I mean,
Oh, it was too much. It was too like they checked off all of the. I mean, you couldn't even like if there was one building that you shouldn't have blown up, it was Building 7. You know what I mean? It just looks that dirty. There was no way.
Yeah. that's the worst job ever.
It just falls down on all on its own, you know. Nothing hit it.
Yeah, and then the government, I mean, literally, like immediately. Oh, we reviewed it, checked it out. It's taken them longer to review Trump's tax records and locations to see if he ever talked to the Russians than it did for us to review the entirety of the 9/11 investigation, right? Uncovered a complete terrorist organization that I guess we had no information about before this event, right? It like there was so much that was uncovered in what, 2 months? 2 months. Yeah, we looked at all of it. All good. Case closed.
Yeah, that's how the weapons of mass destruction. Like nobody, like all of the shit was just like shady that was going on at the time. Weapons of mass destruction, shit that didn't exist.
Yeah, specific. Need someone to talk about yellow cake uranium. We can't find anybody. Find me somebody. Like literally, send an email saying, "Find me somebody that will lie."
That's pretty much what happened, you know.
And look, they found that poor African guy that was just like, yeah, man, yellow cake, I'll say it, sure. And dude had like no idea even what he was talking about. Did you try to sell them yellow cake uranium? Yeah, yellow cake, orange cake, any cake that
Some other guy was like racing on the BBC. They said he was like one of the hijackers and that he like died in the plane crash and stuff. But he was still alive, and he was even getting death threats from people while he has supposedly died in the plane crash. Like, he's dead if he died, right? He was a suicide bomber.
Like planting a bloody glove with the passports. Like you're just walking in front of all the rebel. Oh, look! Hey, I found all his passports, mint condition. Boom.
Oh yeah, and one of the guys was still alive.
They were all alive. They weren't the hijackers. They were literally just like 4 like picture, name, boom, brand new passports, baby.
Yeah, and like you said, like the fire, it melted like the strongest steel ever, and it didn't melt the passports.
People don't realize when it comes to like resiliency, the passport is as good as body armor. You'll see people like tape themselves with passports to stop bullets. These things are hardcore. They can't be wet. Dude, I have had a fucking passport like fall apart in my pocket before.
Yeah.
Telling me that the only thing to survive this is these guys' 4 passports. Like, was it in the back plane or I don't know.
No, it's shocking. I mean,
yeah,
they
won't survive it. What is it? Going from 400 miles an hour to 0 in a blazing glory. No, it wouldn't survive.
Well, I mean, nothing else survived. It down like some of the best constructed buildings on the planet. So, yeah. 0 fucking passports 1. Boom.
Yeah, and then we have the Kibono question, like what happened after that? Suddenly all the rights were limited. Like all human rights were like limited in the USA for US citizens, and all these countries invaded. I mean, Iraq, Afghanistan, all these weird stories about it, and
yeah,
nuclear weapons, chemical weapons, whatever. Nothing ever happened. There were like babies thrown on the ground, they said, like in hospitals.
Yeah, been what, 2 fucking chemical attacks so far. One of them that we exposed is legit. I mean, come on, there is no doubt, right? Like we posted the videos of it, the guys editing the video, the people that were involved in it, the works, like, and nobody's ever held the task for that immediately. Like, why does our government? You should not ever be able to use a false flag. But yeah, hopefully, with these data drops, we will get some more information for the people that need more proof.
Okay. So I got an update from somebody on Twitter. It says looks like the Dark Overlord raised their tier of Bitcoin. Another dump is coming soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hurry up, Dark Overlord.
Okay. So somebody did dump into their wallet. That's weird. Looks like 3 BTC so far.
Oh my god, it's a pretty big amount.
Yeah. Nice work, guys. No, I honestly, I think that the number one, we're all being held ransom by a tyrannical government. So I do not feel bad.
Wait, somebody just said they're at checkpoint 7. I only have checkpoint 2. What the fuck? I guess I'm behind on the files. I'm on the edge of my seat tonight, you know?
So yeah, as we get more information and you guys get more information on it, feel free to post it down there. We'll be going through it, but we kind of have to, there'll be a lot of misinformation that'll come out, especially if they're true. The counter operations, can really slow things down. Their next step will be to flood the internet with false information. If you notice, they did that with the KKK dumps that we had. So you had the real dump, and you had a bunch of these shadow organizations, the government, to try to cover and discredit people, come out with alternate lists that had a couple of people that weren't on them. And then rather than talk about the 200 people in the government...
Oh, Terrence, you got to speak into your microphone.
Nah, they're shutting me down, man. I'm right next. I've got my earpiece in.
Dang.
Okay, but this guy was banned on Twitter, and his subreddit is banned now too. So.
Yeah, he's on Steam at Dark Overlord, at the Dark Overlord.
Yeah, but they are actually taking down his stuff, so that does give some credibility, or it's like a real psyop from real high up.
But I'm following reporters, the investigative reporters that are kind of all over. They're in the hack community, but I'm not going to give up my source. But he seems to know more, like everything that is going on step by step. So I'm gonna keep in contact with this guy. But yeah, it seems like they're trying to be pulled off of X, Y, and Z. But John, you know as I do, the sites where all of the files on, they'll never take that down because that's owned. Well, I'm not going to say who owns it, but I'm just saying that it'll never get taken down there.
No. But like you said, 3 Bitcoin was paid already, so that's how you know it's checkpoint 7 because. They wanted $12,000 of BTC, and I see the BTC is at that is enough value now is reached. So, yeah, we're at it's almost 4,000 United States dollar at 1 BTC. So 3 of them is 12,000.
Wow, they paid quick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this is like. Because there are only 13 checkpoints.
Chances are they're not American hackers or they're not in the state.
We're not even sure. Dark Overlord could be a nation state for all we know.
Yeah. Because I don't 12,000 is such a small number.
Remember Lazarus? Lazarus was a North Korean hacker group, and they hacked a central bank of Bangladesh that was tied to the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
They got away with they initially stole 250 million and only walked away with 20. But
nice work, gentlemen. Nice work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they want 2 million for the checkpoint 13, so that's a pretty big amount for.
Well, do you think the government will pay up for that?
It's nothing.
Yeah, I don't think the government's going to pay. I think some conspiracy sites are going to pay for this.
Well,
to get this.
Yeah.
To get this released, like Infowars or whatever, they will pay for this to get this released.
You hear that, Alex?
Yeah,
Contact us at ABB Live Show on Twitter.
yeah, up, man.
Yeah, I mean they've been claiming all of them have been saying this for so long now. 9/11 is an inside job. Now you can actually have this released. I
Yeah,
know I won't advise normal people to pay such amounts, but Alex Jones, you can pay this.
Watch that, maybe that might be all of Alex's savings because he spent it all.
Yeah.
no, it's gotta be male vitality.
Yeah.
Turn you into. I always like every time I see it. Like I think the only person that could sell that would be fucking Jesse Ventura. Turn you into a sexual source.
No, that's cocaine and methamphetamine.
Testosterone overload.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can call it what you want, Alex. We know you've been doing the devil's dandruff.
Well, I'm not trying to like body shame the guy, but like he does post all of these things with his shirt off, like before and after, and you look exactly the same. Like exactly.
Maybe he lost 2 or 3 pounds with Photoshop, but you know.
One of them looked like he may have had a little bit better tan, but I'm not seeing like the jump. You still look like Alex Jones, the guy that was scared to fight Marco Rubio. Rubio.
You know, I'm surprised that none of the only independent newspapers are covering this. Like no major media outlet. Only.
That's surprising. That is really surprising.
Let me see. ABBA Journal covered it. The Dark Overlord. They're saying the Dark Overlord didn't hack systems. Okay, well, that's great that they are trying to prove that, but.
Well, you have to keep the government has to keep up that illusion that they're still in control at all times.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's like the Baghdad Bob when the bombs are going outside and the building's shaking, and he's still telling you that they're how the Iraqi troops are advancing on the Americans. It's that level of bullshit you have to keep up.
Yeah, I would look for immediately like a campaign start to try to discredit.
Oh, here we go. Forbes published an article. Here we go. Yeah, Forbes got it.
Getting the money.
Forbes covering it. So is
Heavy.com was also working.
Okay, so it is getting some attention. All right.
Yeah. And so there are actually people who doubt that they can actually hack such things. I know the Dark Overlord, they are known to hack like smaller partners of but Netflix too. They hacked like a smaller partner of Netflix to get access to their stuff.
I think like a lot of times.
Didn't they threaten the CEO's daughter, right?
Yeah, we have that screenshot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is actually possible because these smaller firms don't have the money to hire these security experts. So they do get hacked. Yeah.
But I mean, even then, at the highest levels, our president uses a unsecured iPhone.
Yeah, he refers to his tablet as the flat thing.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of information getting around out there. It's just getting a hold of it, getting a hold of a phone. Not all of it is really hacked.
Yeah, but don't forget about the Clinton leaks either. I mean, her email address was hacked, and also people like Guccifer and stuff. They said they just used social engineering to get into the stuff.
Interesting.
Like literally.
Interesting about Guccifer, and I'm not going to get into what kind of op I was doing at that point, but I'm just saying that I had access to the same information from another hacker a week before that was published. From the Guccifer 2.0, so I think Guccifer 2.0 he's not the actual guy who did it. I don't know who did it, but he was probably handed the information from somebody else like me.
Yeah. I know at least one of the guys who said he got access to Clinton's email said he did it using social engineering by guessing security questions and stuff. So, yeah. Yeah,
that's kind of typical, How did you get it? I guess.
As with other. Yeah, but that's how it usually goes. Like with celebrities too.
They'll make their
Yeah.
passwords are guessable. A date, a friend, your favorite grandkid, and it's just kind of time. That you eventually get into it. At the same time, it's human nature to make something that you can remember.
Yeah, and usually you combine these answers with like a birth year or something, whatever, and it's all guessable because if you really spend time on it, if you have like a target and you got the chance to like spend like months on it, you will get this for
Yeah,
sure.
and don't do it all at once. You put in every once in a while. You try one password. That didn't work, right? And then you go back, and a week later, they've logged in several times. You try it one more time, so you never overload it. It could take 6 months to get it, but eventually you'll get it.
Yeah, and now all these email addresses like Gmail and stuff. Most of these celebrities use Gmail or like Hotmail or whatever, and now they all use like these two-factor authentication things. But in the past, you could get into like any email address by just guessing like the subject lines of mails sent to people, uh, the birth date, a zip code of people. Uh, but they forget that you can also get access to like family members who are not so tech savvy, and you have those subject lines then
Yeah,
because you know the email sent. So
yeah.
yeah,
Or like it's not a lot of times it's not deep thinking. It really is just guessing and the time that it takes to do it. I know that with like multiple, you can register devices once you're in as other people. Facebook used to do it. Well, once you were in, then you had to, on a new device, you had to review like people's faces, but then if you knew them well enough, you knew kind of what their top 100 friends were anyway. So you could guess it, but that was their way against authentication. Is it would authenticate, a message would be sent to this person, or this person. Well, if you knew enough about them, you could guess all of those things. You know who their friends are. You know who they're sending messages to. Most of the time, who likes their stuff the most, who comments on their stuff the most.
yeah, and to get like access to like a Hotmail, you had to guess like 4 email addresses someone sent mail to and 4 subject lines. Now, if you want to hack like Justin Bieber, then you hack like his mom, and his mom has like a security question, my dog's name or whatever, and you already have like 3 out of 4 subject lines, or even all 4 of them, and
Yeah.
you'll also know what maybe someone sends like emails to like multiple people at once, and yeah, you will already have this stuff. So yeah, there's really insecure everything.
I mean, that's the absolute truth. That's what they're always trying to hide. And nothing is secure. That's the joke.
Oh yeah, unless you have a closed, everything was on the same wire, kind of like a token ring system or
It
hardwired Ethernet intranet with
depends.
no access to the outside. I mean, even with an intranet, you can still
Yeah, we got a
have
whole
bad guys on the inside that are still yeah. So really, there is no such thing as secure at all.
overloaded the Iranian turbines like nuclear centrifuges, right? Not a completely closed system. The nuclear power plants, many of them infected with worms
Stuxnet,
as heat, are the same way.
yeah,
Yeah,
Stuxnet. It was like 20 lines of code that shut down the uranium power plant.
Yeah,
and what also is a risk is the quality of Wi-Fi networks is getting too good. Like the range is too big. Like usually it would just be like accessible from within the house, but now it's like 300 feet or whatever. And so you want to hack some celebrity in Hollywood, you just
Drive
drive in
by
the
his
street
house,
and
yeah.
you do some de-authentication attack, and you can get on their Wi-Fi. So
Air crack, right
They-
there.
yeah,
Air
if
crack
they're-
with a brute force password generator, you get in there easily.
Well, we wouldn't do it at their house because that's the place where they would most likely have the best internet security. We wait until you go to a coffee shop that just has that $50 router that they set up so patrons can have internet, and then you're extremely vulnerable. You look at standing up the officers that forgot to turn off the Bluetooth on their phones.
Oh yeah, Bluetooth
yeah.
is a very unsecure.
Huge mistake.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's
it
another
was
thing,
a
yeah.
four number password, and usually it's 0000.
Yeah. And then these are, I mean, like we said before, I mean, these are knuckle draggers, all right? They are not. And that's the deal. You know, you have the people that use the technology, and the people that are making the technology is very different, are actually using it. You know, your average person does not have a grasp on the constantly changing environment that is network security.
No, and everything is built for compatibility now, and no longer for security. It all has to work. Like you press the on button and it works instantly with your stuff, and no one asks why does it instantly connect with all your stuff and why.
Oh yeah, like, you look at people in what people name their phone. So yeah, their Wi-Fi in their phone has a password on it, but I now your network, what your naming conventions are, where your mindset was when you made the passwords. All of those things come into play when breaching stuff. You know, without being even all that skilled. You know, when we were back in the day doing this kind of shit, I was, you know, of the lowest of below, right? Scripting. You know, there's 12-year-old Korean girls out there that are 1,000 times better than I was ever.
Oh yeah, but these days for sure. I mean, better than all of us. These kids of today, they grow up with this stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, but you know, the deal is like, it's an illusion of security. Eventually, for all of the people that it's hidden, you know, that are the bad guys that have done all this terrible stuff and think that it's hidden, eventually we'll get a hold of it, because eventually it'll touch the internet. Like, there really isn't a place to hide for the people that are child molesters and, you know what I mean, moving. You know, there's always going to be a record of it. Like, you know, we'll eventually find out who you are, who you were, all of them. Uh-oh.
No, I'm here. I'm just looking at the Dark Lord. Is he, when he's referring to layer 2, is he referring to layer 2 security? I don't know.
He said there are 5 different layers of his releases or something, and there's 13
okay.
checkpoints.
My dyslexia. I was reading out of context.
Yeah, he said he has 5 layers of files and 13 checkpoints for that. And with each checkpoint before releasing the entire file, he releases some random documents from it. And then the whole file. That's like the next step.
Dude, this is better than WikiLeaks. I mean...
Yeah. They know what they're doing, so that's why like I'm thinking like it's either it's real or it's a damn good psyop. Could still be both, but yeah, it could be real too. I mean, they've done some crazy shit in the past. So.
Oh, there's the key for the first one. Was that 32-bit? No, 64. Yeah. We'll see in the upcoming days. You know.
So what files can we get into now already?
Just the first one.
Did you see what was in it or something? Or?
No, I'm not opening that thing on my computer. I'm gonna use it in a VM.
Can you dump the link to the first one?
Oh yeah. Here's the key. And let me
open
see.
it.
Let me see. You're using a VM, so.
I'll open it right now.
I think it's this one. The 9/11 archive.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the key. The first one has like 500 files, which is kind of weird because it's smaller. It's a smaller link.
Yeah. It's a tiny little zip.
It's like 300 kilobytes.
Yeah. Well, if it's only text, then it's still a lot. It's like technically still 300,000 bytes, right? So 300,000 characters. So it's still a big book. Let me see.
Did the key work?
Yeah, I'm still. I'm not even. I didn't even do the download yet. I have to do it secure.
Oh, you got to do it through a VM. Yeah.
I'm doing
I
it
don't know.
from
I
another.
don't trust that. I mean, I mean, there's like some shady fucking shit out there. Like you open up a PDF and it's really a rat or a fucking or it's a keylogger or some low level shit.
Yeah. I'm more concerned about downloading it from that site, anonfiles.com. I mean, who knows who's watching that?
Probably everybody and every 3-letter alphabet agency right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like there is always this thing like they think like websites owners are securing all of this stuff,
No,
but
you
you
could.
also have to.
No, there's always a back. There's always a way to find the root structure of any website.
Yeah, you're also dealing with upstream providers of data centers, and they can like pretty much recognize what kind of traffic goes in and out. And,
Yeah,
yeah,
but they claim that they don't log anything, but that doesn't mean somebody else isn't logging and monitoring their site.
no, exactly. And like before it reaches my country from that site, it goes like through so many different hops that at each hop they can pretty much be listening. So many different locations.
Well, knowing that site, there's only probably one server. It's not multiple. Seems
Oh,
like.
the original. It is. It's pretty big. The 911 archive. It is almost 11 gigabytes.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
How did
pretty
it?
big one.
How did it compress it to 300? Oh, you know what? I never actually. They might have put false info on there to make it seem smaller.
You're actually downloading a torrent from the unknown
Oh, is
files
that what it
site.
is?
Yeah.
Yes. They did change it. I see that. It's a torrent link. Okay. Yeah, it even says so. It has the uTorrent on there, on logo on the file.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see in a couple of minutes, right?
Yeah.
11
It's
gigs.
11 gigs. Yeah.
Um, until that downloads, what else should we talk about?
Yeah, come on, you're teasing everybody talking about documents, and you ain't even got the thing downloaded yet.
Let me see. Is Terrence? Oh, we lost Terrence. No shit.
Uh-oh.
I didn't even notice that.
It's like the moment you start the feeds.
Yeah.
He's still online. Let me see. The North Korean ambassador to Italy is gone missing, and he's been missing since November. Yeah, and this I guess it was made major news just now from a South Korean spy agency. Had noticed he was missing, and they don't know where he is. They don't know if they kidnapped him. They don't know if he's defected. They have nobody has any idea where this guy is.
So where's the nearest black site from his last known location?
I don't know. Last time he was reported, anybody has seen him, he was in Rome. I mean, from Rome. I mean, there's a bunch of places you can go from there. I mean, he could be anywhere from South Africa to, he could be in the USA for all we know. But they were I remember hearing a reporter saying that even if he was in the USA, he might not be safe.
Well, That's the first I heard of that.
Yeah, I saw it on CNN like an hour ago, but I heard about this morning. Because I didn't hear anything about it. Apparently, this has been going on for a while. You think if your ambassador was missing, you would know, but I guess North Korea wasn't keeping as good tabs as the South Korean government was on this cat.
Well, the North Koreans probably just assume he's defected, like probably a lot of others have.
Yeah, this is the first high-level defection in a while, you know?
Huh.
Apparently this guy has kids. His wife disappeared too with him. But they think that he might have children in North Korea. So they call them what do they call them? Like an insurance policy that they'll come back. So when you leave from North Korea, they usually leave like a family member behind.
I see. Insurance policy.
Yeah. And if you don't come back, they'll put your family in political. They'll put them in a detention center for like the rest of their life.
Well, that whole North Korea thing just kind of blew over after all the foo-foo session they had over there. Getting all worked up about a couple of rockets flying off. I mean, that was like ridiculous.
I remember how Kim puts on this front that all of their citizens are happy. I mean, and of course, you know, the inner circle are always happy because they're living like kings over there. But the rest of the country, that's not the case. You know.
Yeah.
Pyongyang is that's fake happy.
Yeah, that fake crying at that funeral, that was the best. I guess that was quite a few years ago now, but then remember
Kim
they were just bawling. Yeah.
with Kim Jong-un, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
hey, that's a lot easier than getting thrown in a retrainment camp, right? I mean, you just don't want to go there.
there's all sorts of weird shit that goes on in North Korea. Like, you know, he has a wife, but he has all these mistresses, you know. And his wife is like was from this North Korean K-pop thing that was going on, so she's like a big celebrity over there.
Well, hell, he hangs around Rodman and likes basketball. Well, he's Western trained, right? He went to college in
Switzerland.
Switzerland, yeah. So, I mean, he's been around. Nothing but the best for your dictators. Well, you notice how fat he is. I mean, he's not on the normal 1,000-calorie a day North Korean diet.
No, he's definitely not on the rice and dirt diet.
Yeah. Mistresses. Well, hey, you know, it's all who you know.
Well, there's only so many countries that deal business with him, you know, and it's not that many.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you isolate yourself.
Got your big buddy China sitting right there.
Well, in Norway, there should possibly a few things from China and limited stuff from Russia, and that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, it's a strange place. I don't know. You know, they remind me of, like, what is it, Myanmar? They're next to Thailand. You know, that's another, like,
it's
isolated military-run type country, and you're just like, you know, it's an anomaly in today's world. You know.
Oh yeah, the Burmese and the Myanmar.
Yeah, that boot on your face military dictatorship. I mean, it kind of went by the wayside. I don't know, maybe in the 30s or 50s. Seems like we're past that, but
they're killing all the Rohingya. That's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, they don't like each other.
Well, Rohingya were there first. But
Well,
you don't conform with their way of life, and they start killing you.
yeah, I think the cultures over there have been a little more in tune with the Islamics, for longer than we have. Well, for sure here in the
Well,
States.
Rohingya majority of them are Muslim. Yeah.
Yeah, so they know how it goes. So it's like, yeah, well, they either kill us or we kill them.
Yeah, I was in
That's the.
back, by the way.
Did you reset your router?
I reset everything, reset up my VPN, and hopefully that buys me a little bit of time here.
Oh my god.
No, I was in Miramar a couple years ago. Yeah, it's crazy. And their leader, I used to fight so hard. She held it in house arrest, and she was one of the people that you'd make the free whoever signs and all of that. Someone you would always bring brought up that she was a political prisoner, and then as soon as she got control of the fucking country, she immediately starts murdering people.
Oh yeah. The director of humanitarian or whatever the fuck she is, and she says there's nothing I can do to stop this. I am just a politician, and I'm like, you're just a politician. This is your fucking job.
Oh no, like she just can't seem to figure out how to stop telling the military to go in and murder entire villages. I just can't, and it's not a huge country.
No, they do it brutally. Like they chop them up with fucking machetes and shit, and put the body parts all over the houses and shit.
A whole 12 people, marched down to the beach that we were on and just mowed down in the water, and then the army just walked away. The men, women, children, the works. A whole little village, 12 people, and yeah, they just marched them down, went through the village, asked if the people here were Muslim, and then just marched them down to the water and executed them. And then they didn't clean up the bodies, didn't do, it's an extra disrespect to make sure that you can't be buried in the traditional Islamic ways, or Muslim ways. So yeah, they made sure to pile the bodies the best they could in the water and then take off.
Yeah, they just throw the bodies wherever.
I hid in the bushes.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd want to be in a country like that. That's like dangerous as fuck.
I was with pirates from Thailand. You know what? It's a long story.
Okay. I'm like, you were on an adventure that day.
It was a long story, man. But yeah.
It started off with cocaine, and then I ended up with these pirates.
What a hell of a night, man. Yeah, but we were actually, they were some of the most honest pirates that you would ever meet, and we needed to. Oh, they really were, man. They were really for being pirates. They were really good people. They were, they're people you'd want to have your back, right? Well, we were looking for these camps that they smuggle people and poach animals in between Thailand and Myanmar, because it's this weird no man's land and the violence and the poverty and all of that. Inside of the jungle, next to the rivers, they have these camps, and they smuggle people and animals out of these camps. And some of them are pretty large camps. And the police and the government, unless they have no other option because they're paid off and well paid, they don't do anything about it. And these people go to all the way over to Cambodia, kidnap girls, take them to these camps and sell them off around the world, sell them into sex slavery, sell them into normal slavery, right? It's a nightmare. And these pirates, their sisters, mothers, brothers, all sorts of people were affected by this. So when they heard we were there and what we were doing, right, they were like the first ones to sign up. They're also the only people that will cross this waterway. The waterway is dangerous because of, pirates. And they're yeah, it's much less dangerous if you're with the pirates. But then the military has these PT boats that cruise up and down the water with these big 50 caliber machine guns on them. And if you're not one of the military PT boats or one of the 3 tourist boats that come through, they just light your ass up. So it's like this fun cat and mouse game between the military and the pirates and all of that. So yeah, that's why I was. But yeah,
But it's just another day in Thailand.
Thailand is a crazy place.
I mean, that's like one of my days in Mexico. Like when I was like, when I used to like, go on adventures in like Mexico. What did you do? Oh, I got stopped by the federales, and and then they took all my money, and I got drunk with the police and did some drugs with them. But that was cool.
But they were Mexican federales, so we had a blast spending my money. Yeah, I like people that travel in some of those places that don't travel, and you'll hear people like, "Oh, we were robbed." Or what? You didn't pay the bribe? What, are you stupid?
Oh yeah. Money is always internationally when you're in trouble, money seems to get you out of a lot of problems.
Money that I can bribe to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I love about Mexico, though. I mean, it's corruption that you can deal with.
Yeah,
Here, it's just a shakedown. I mean, you're going to spend 10 times, 20 times as much and get a lot less. And it's just, I actually prefer their corruption over ours.
Well, let's say I get some sort of parking infraction, right? I got to pay the judge. I got to pay the crooked cop. The corruption all the way up the fucking line, right? 40 people got to make money off of my one ticket.
Well, America serves it in a silver platter, but we're just as corrupt. But then all the money goes back to the federal government.
Yeah, we're here, right? It goes to the family and the guy that I'm paying the bribe to, right? It's direct corruption, and I quite enjoy that. If I have a problem, I can go and talk to them. You ever tried to talk to the federal government when you got a problem? They can't fix shit. I've talked to my local corrupt street mafia. They get shit done. Yeah.
Any updates on those on that gigabyte file or the 11 gig file?
Yeah, I was getting some errors, so I had to like reboot and do it again. So
God damn it!
I have to wait again. It's not so fast.
Well, yeah, because
actually,
when you're running a VM inside of I know how your setup is, but it's gotta be like running like a snail's pace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And I was trying it to an external hard disk first, but it was like formatted into FAT, right? So
yeah.
the 11 gigabytes was too big because it can only be like 5 gigabytes. It kept getting errors. File too large.
Yeah, I did that.
Sure,
I did that
changed
updating a VM today. I forgot that I only set it to like 20 gigs, and the update was bigger than that.
Yeah.
Oops.
I hope this stuff is worth the effort. I mean, every 3-letter agency will be on it right now. So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure all the 3-letter agencies are responsible for taking down the dark overlords fucking social media shit. I mean, how do you get knocked off of fucking Reddit in like 24 hours?
Yeah,
like,
this fast? That is really sick.
That is crazy. And then he wasn't like when he had his his Twitter profile, it was like up for 3 days, and he really wasn't posting anything crazy. But the new terms of service as of November on Twitter is that you can't post any hack information or hacked files or something.
Oh yeah, no, that's the new rule. You're
Yeah.
no longer allowed to do that.
That's stupid. That's really
Yeah,
stupid.
more people lose their accounts. Because of that.
Did you hear the? Oh yeah. So here's some more corruption on a level I haven't seen before. So Netflix. So Saudi government is trying to push down the Khashoggi shit to the point where because humans have a tendency to forget things if you just stop talking about it. And so the Saudi government is trying to weasel down the anything a mention of Khashoggi. So much so that Netflix, at the request of the Saudi government, banned a comedy that was critical of the Saudi government and was referring to Khashoggi, and I was just like when I saw that article earlier today, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of power does the Saudi government have over fucking Netflix?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Well, you got their Obamas over there, Susan Rice. I mean, they got plenty of contacts. You know.
Yeah, but Obama calls Netflix CEO. Hey guys, can you guys take down that thing and ban it from this from Saudi Arabia? So.
But what we don't always realize is behind the scenes, where on the outside that seems weird, but then how much does Saudi Arabia have invested in that?
That I don't know.
Well, China's the same way.
Yeah, even a small investment. Look, I've got 300,000 shares, or $200 million worth of shares. They'll do what you want them to do. You sit on the board, or one of your underlings does. And a lot of these power brokers, they seem unconnected, but when you start looking at their investments and mutual investments, the boards that they sit on, they're much more connected to what they expect. We haven't been able to get that. Zuckerberg and the Saudi family is another one. Like, if it's hard to get information about the Saudi royal family because of their connection to Facebook, their connection with Zuckerberg. I'm pretty sure what the video was released 3-4 days ago. I could look that showed them taking the bags. And I think BBC was actually the people that wrote the story to begin with, but taking the bags out of the embassy that was Khashoggi's body. I think it was 6 or 7 bags. You cannot find that video on Facebook.
I do remember hearing that.
Yeah, it was. This one was broke by the BBC. You can go in there. It's not a story that they pushed, but yeah, the video footage. I think the video footage was leaked, but yeah, the video footage of them taking out 8 bags. Pretty obviously a person. And that those were the people that are now being charged in connection with all of that. But yeah, that's the body of Khashoggi, and I think it was 6 or 8 bags that they turned out. But you can't find the video anymore, and that was that's on the BBC. That's not a small news network. Name another story that you can't find. That's that big that you can't find on Facebook and BBC's page.
Well, what's the weird thing is that they sentenced those 5 people who murdered him to death, but why didn't they kill the Saudi prince as well? Because he gave the orders.
There's 3 stages that they normally use, right? So,
Yeah.
right, there's the denial, and then after the denial, right, they'll try to do the cover up and all that. They tried that, and then comes the fall guys, and that's normally right in the row. And the fall guys, take the fall for it, and they walk away scot free.
Not this time. Not this time. They're gonna kill them.
Yeah, but their families are taking care of the mafia. The same thing. So for you going to prison, right? You were a nobody. Now you did a great service to protect the royal family. Your family's taken care of. Your generations are taken care of. You're now in the halls of power. The mafia did the same thing. You have a guy that would give away 40, 50 years of his life. Why? Because his family was taken care of.
But there's no prison this time. There's going to be a beheading.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, see, then now because they fucked up the job, they have to go down to cover the king. If it had gone off okay, then you could have just killed the 1 or 2 guys that actually did the job, and then that would be your cover. Like you use Oswald as a shooter, Ruby, and then you kill Ruby, and then you're done.
Yeah.
But this one was so fucked up.
Well, and
they had to sacrifice some dudes to protect the king, even though he's guilty as hell. But
and they tried to, they did. They, I think they're being killed. They're being executed for incompetence. So after the first denial, well, we couldn't deny it. Remember, they tried to set up a lookalike, right? Well, then when you got the video of him, look, he's fine. He just walked right out of there. But you did a horrible job at the lookalike. They've got pictures of you guys going in there. You know what I mean? Like all of it, they fucking job up so bad, they hit so bad. Did you call the Israelis? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
you just look like sewer gas. He died of sewer gas. That's how he
there's
died.
the Russians. I mean, like America. Do you not know how to set? You guys need help.
But I mean, this is like any black op that goes wrong. They'll sacrifice you. They don't care. That at the end of the day, they will kill all of you if they have to. And because the story now is, well, these were rogue agents, so we have to kill them all, right? I mean,
Authoritarian states don't go together.
Yeah,
like that doesn't exist. But yeah, rogue agent is just a different word for you got caught. You'll see it in times when like we had that spy satellite or spy plane shot down over Russia, and it wasn't we didn't it wasn't even the straight denial. It's like, well, we don't know how we got there. Who? No, we have your pilot. We shot down the plane. It's right here. We don't know what you're talking about.
that was slightly embarrassing.
Oh no, because eventually, like it's kind of the 9/11 thing. Like you gotta have, one. It's not enough to know it and have proof. You almost have to have a confession.
Yeah, it's part of that whole perp walk. It's like the way they walk, like when they catch El Chapo, they always like pushing your head down as they do the perp walk. It's that authoritarian thing. That warning to everybody, like what happens when you fuck up. There's a guy in a black suit and a ski mask going to push your head down and put his boot on your face.
Oh, that's step one. All infractions, boot on the face.
Yeah, that's the whole security theater, and then you get to do that, the little perp walk or whatever, then you get thrown in jail, Yeah.
Well, I don't think that. I mean, a lot of the people, honestly, all of the people that are responsible for this nightmare, none of them will ever see it. You'll die. Like, geez, George Bush Sr. died a fucking hero.
Hey, there's a guy in our Facebook comments that keeps on asking if they can find a hacker. Well, I can tell you what. I'll give you a little hint. Well, Anonymous doesn't doesn't hack for money, so that's kind of out of the question. If you're looking for a hacker for hire, they are all over the place. Just search any hacker groups or hacker boards, and you will find a hacker for hire. But I'm sorry, we don't do that for money.
Yeah, just look. Okay, if you're trying to buy a hacker on Facebook, save us some time. How much were you looking to spend for a hacker? Just donate that money to us. You're gonna get ripped off. Are you fucking serious? So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna you won't get the hacker, but you'll have like the good donate to a good cause rather than straight up just being like sorted or just clean out your bank account. Here, yeah, look, I'm the best hacker in the world, so I'm gonna need your login, your password.
No, sorry, but like we do not do this for money. We do this for a cause, and we do this for the public. But we do not do this for money.
Yeah, that's crazy. But good luck. I'm not trying to, man. I'm trying to save you some heartache here. Like I don't want you to get cleaned out. But I mean, look what you're doing. Like you're asking for problems that you don't want. You don't want to hire a hacker. If you want to learn to hack, that's fine. But you're just gonna get ripped off, dude. Or dudette.
He says $100,000 for a hack.
Yeah, please. I'll take it in Bitcoin.
It's no shame, Terrence. No shame.
Look, I'm the fucking best houses. You fucking have.
But what I'm telling you, Darius, is that what you need to do is you need to go to a group or a black hat for hire, or you just do a search. You will find what you're looking for, but you won't find it from us.
Fucking $100,000. I'll fund a revolution for that money, really.
Like 8 houses for veterans. Yeah, man. What do you need to have? What, your girlfriend? You need her on her phone or something?
Yeah.
See how fast those doors open up? I mean, man, cash just greases those wheels.
Well, this guy's getting fucked over. I don't want it to get thrown away at this point.
Yeah, well, that's not right either.
Well, I know some people. I know some people in Chennai who will do it for you for like $20.
Got like just laying around. You obviously don't need the 100,000. Willing to throw it away to fucking any hacker that comes by. Dude, when I am done, you will feel hacked.
Okay, Terry. Now, what if he wants you to hack Vice President Pence? Is that going to be a problem?
What?
It's $100,000.
I'm just pretending that comment didn't even happen.
Whatever.
I mean,
Whatever.
you don't know who it is.
It's just this. We've already hacked Pence's fucking email. He's a douche. Is this a surprise to you? What could you possibly know about like a jackass to that extent? I mean, it doesn't matter. Look, here it is. We don't do this for money, so it's just a stupid thing to ask. And if you're going to upfront, like all of the things that you've said here means that you've got more money than brain.
He could be a Fed psyop. He's an agent provocateur, Terrence. That's what he is.
I guess amazing. Can you just give us the 100,000? Quit fucking around here, man.
Well, it should be a donation to a charity, and then if doors open as a result of that, well, it was a donation to a charity.
So at this much, you got $100,000. You could go to a real estate agent and say, look, I got 100,000. Get me 8 houses, 3 bedrooms, right, and give those away to veterans, right? We will post that on our sites. If other hackers feel like supporting you because of that action, then I would say that would be your best.
Most hackers are poor. We need the money. That's fine.
But most hackers are. This isn't a community that really is a money-driven community. We were talking earlier. These guys, had some really, Dark Overlord had some really great information. $12,000 is nothing, and that says to us because we're not in this for the fucking money. If we were into this for the money, we would be rich. Do you know what the NSA and NF and I mean just the people on this panel? Do you know how much they would pay for our friends list messages?
For some of the information that we're seeing today, actually quite a bit.
So the money is not why we're in this. We're in this against a corrupt and abusive system.
Okay, AK is posting some stuff. Hold on, let me switch this back. AK is posting... Dark Overlord is threatens to release top secret 9/11 files litigation unless paid Bitcoin. Okay, that's something we already talked about.
I mean, those are kind of the demands. I'd tell them make sure to stay with Bitcoin, guys. Don't get suckered into a cash drop. Wire transfers, right? And then my advice to you: sit on that money for a while.
Well, somebody doesn't want this information to be, really doesn't.
Course.
Well, somebody's paying him, so I'm just somebody really doesn't want this information to be released.
Oh, I can think of several groups of people that would really like that not to be released. I mean, what will be exposed from this is how much of our government works together to continue these wars. Right, that's what will be exposed. It's not the people specifically that'll be that shocking, but the people that you see are on both the left and the right, the Democrats, the people that are out there pushing the pro-peace, on the outside, you see in the background, we're really part of the same warmongering group that they've always been part of. And that's really what they're trying to keep from being exposed.
Dude, I wonder if this is like George Bush Jr. paying up. I'm playing.
Yeah, don't say. Do you think? Yeah, I'm like they're gonna shut down in fucking heartbeat. I don't know. I can imagine.
How come they can't shut down Dark Lord Steam It though? I mean, everything else has been shut down because Steam It won't take his shit down.
Is that what it is? Because I mean, I wasn't really buying that whole block. We're hiding behind the blockchain thing. I mean, that didn't.
Well, in the background on Steam, they are using blockchain. They are using the blockchain for.
Well, right, but how is say you're somebody that uses that service? How do you hide behind their blockchain? I mean, there's no way to not get deleted, right? I mean, they just delete you from the platform. I mean.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know how the back end of their system works. So
how does that secure you? I guess is what I'm trying to say, so that you can't get deleted. I don't get that.
That it
can't. Well, most blockchains have public ledgers, so not all of them, but most of them. But I'm not sure how Steam it's using it, because I know they have Steam dollars and whatever on the back end for the upvotes and all that, and people actually make some money off of their writing. So I'm not exactly sure.
Well, I mean, we'll keep giving out information as we come across it, and I mean, we're opening it up as we speak as well to kind of go through it.
Well, looks like AK already got the file. So there's like 18,000 documents. They're in doc, PDF, PPT, XLS, TIFF, and messages.
Those are what I'm always interested in.
Yeah. So PowerPoint, Excel, TIFF files.
Yeah, like, I don't want to jump the gun because we've kind of been this far before, but this is gonna happen eventually, one way or another. And the important thing is that we're reproving things that we already know.
Yeah.
There isn't anything in here that will be shocking, but you'll be able to wave it in the air and say, okay, I've got undeniable in-stone proof. And then the important thing to do is, like, then, what are the next, start sending their asses to The Hague.
Yeah, I mean, here's what's getting old to me is, I mean, because you hear this with Jones, I mean, with all the media really is, like, they've got the documents, we're going to expose all this, they expose all of it, and then nothing happens. It's like there's that last missing piece of the puzzle that never gets done. And we're all supposed to, like, move on. Like, that's the process. You just you get outraged. You follow the story.
Hold on, somebody's got a file put to text. Let me see if I can play this. Let's see if it'll play.
It's the facade that something's going on. When nothing ever happens.
Yeah, see, that's the deal. There isn't an even. You see, like, if you look, okay, somebody gets caught in a
256 9/11 papers, Mega League, Layer 1 plus checkpoint 03, 04, 05, 06, and 07, Cyber Cache for Cyber Cache. This is the Dark Overlord here to deliver a message. We're now calling this Mega League of 9/11 papers. Keep giving us Cyber Cache for Cyber Cache. Hello, world. As you're well aware, we designed a compensation plan that would allow for the public crowdfunding of our organization. In order to permit the public disclosure of our 9/11 papers in the interest of the public. Part of this plan was to create a tiered escalation plan that would result in multiple layers and
you guys hear that?
milestones, which we're calling checkpoints,
Yeah.
to ensure the powers that be are being properly bent over a barrel. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. We're financially motivated, and you, the public, has spoken to us in our language. Internet money, specifically Bitcoin, through voicing your satisfaction by sending us 3.27 BTC for a total of over 12 United States dollars of BTC. At the time of writing, you've successfully unlocked Layer 1 as well as Checkpoint 03, Checkpoint 04, Checkpoint 05, Checkpoint 06, and Checkpoint 07. As with our previous paid releases, we've demonstrated to you that we're honest about our intentions and we're transparent. As a result of this most magnificent achievement, we're continuing to follow the wishes of the public by releasing the layers and checkpoints we Promised you we would.
Oh, you know what somebody did on this? They so basically goes on for another 10 minutes. And you know what they did is they made an audio file of all of his statements. I know what this is. Okay. But I haven't seen anything this interesting in a while. You guys there?
I like the female voice. It could be slightly sexier if I was doing it myself, but it's okay.
Did I lose everybody else?
Really?
No, I'm still here, but
Is Terrence still here?
the file is still not done.
He's muted.
Terrence, you're muted.
It's not like Terrence to mute himself. He's always so expressive.
Oh, there you are.
Vocal. No, I wanted to make sure that we heard all of that. Yeah, that's just the man. No, I like their style. Yeah, really, to be honest with you, yeah, fuck them. I like how they're all like to make sure to burn to the pressers over. Oh yeah, yeah. Do that.
Well, I mean,
It beats the regular evening news, that's for sure. I mean, there's actually something going on different than the propaganda that you're
and
being
it's funny,
forced
this
in every
isn't
day.
on CNN or anything.
This is evening. Then this
We'll
really
see if-
could be news.
If it's not something they produce, like their own propaganda, they're not interested, right? It's actual news that would kind of screw up their whole propaganda script.
No, I don't think they'd want that to get out. I don't think they'd want that to get out. I think in a couple of minutes, that first like 3 minutes of 2 minutes of his of the demands, I think we should replay that for the viewers that get on, because I think some more people are going to be getting on here in the next couple of hours.
I'll play it in a little bit.
Yeah, no, just so that people can get caught up with what it is, because that's what on my personal account here, that's what everybody keeps on asking. Oh, did I miss it? Did I miss it?
Yeah, I can pretty much guess that the first archive is going to be like a teaser.
Well, there's 500 documents in the first one, and the other ones are 50, 50, 50.
Oh, but those got to be 50 of the good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even these ones yet to see what's on them.
Yeah, but what worries me is I can't find any content of the first file anywhere still online. So surely, like I started the torrent and there were like 50 or 60 downloaders at the same time, and I was thinking like
Nobody's uploading.
must
right?
have had. No. Yeah, well, a few, but I'm thinking they only got like part of the file.
Oh, that's horrible to have a fucking upload, to have a pool, and nobody has the full thing.
Yeah, it's like what 0 seeds, all leeches.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah, but I'm
Dark
thinking,
Overlord, if you're listening, you got a problem with the first file.
Just get your guy online to see it.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, we got to make sure, like, honestly, if anybody was going to get hold of them, look, guys, if you do, make sure that you've got a place that you can upload it. If they are trying to shut you down, get it to us, get it to, there's some other non-networks that you'd be able to get it out, but make sure that you don't, that the files are accessible, or they're going to start, they're already doing that. The places that they're taking it off of are big, that normally don't take down our leaked information. Like, this is the first time that we've ever had, it be completely wiped off of the net like that.
Yeah, except for that Yemen episode of ours.
Oh yeah, we got hacked, but we knew who hacked us though.
We are getting all kinds of friends this year.
Assholes.
So what should I do?
You had a huge list of topics.
Yeah, I do kind of want to talk about report campaigns again. So a lot of times in the non world, some people like to report other people, and I'm not sure if all people here agree with me on that. But when you report somebody, you're promoting censorship, and some of it does have a purpose in online activism. It does serve a purpose. But like if you're reporting somebody and you don't know who they are and you're just reporting somebody because somebody told you to report them, but you really don't know what's going on, like that makes you another sheep.
Yeah, and an asshole too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, we get reported for, you're just mad that I didn't agree with you.
And nine times out of ten, when somebody says to report somebody else, it's because they're pissed off and somebody fucked somebody else's girlfriend or some like low level bullshit. But when you're doing something online in an online campaign, make sure you're well informed about what you're doing and who you're doing it to. And I don't know, just a heads up. I've been seeing a lot of that going on in the last week or so.
I mean, it is like it is something that people do just as a tool to get back, really. Yeah, I don't report anything really.
Well, there's so many better ways to get us back at somebody.
Post what you said. I want everybody to see it, hear it. This is the guy that said it. Yeah, don't report, repost. If it's really that, terrible and it's, something that's worth reporting, take a screenshot, repost it, that's kind of how this works. Share and change.
Yeah, and I think the person may be listening in, but it's nothing personal, but I just got to put it out there, and I'm not going to put which op or what was going on, but if you're listening, it was directed exactly towards you.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So just for
Uh-oh.
Well, I lurk in the shadows a lot. I mean, I know what's going on, but
just for future reference, guys, be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool. Well, when you're upset and you're thinking you're gonna report somebody, just think of that in your head. Be cool, man. What would the Fonz do? What would Ice Cube do? Be cool.
You know who it was. That guy. Yeah, he's a little crazy.
Yeah, he is a little crazy.
Yeah.
Reported.
He means well, but he is. He means well, but he makes.
Makes big mistakes.
Some weird mistakes, but. He was probably listening. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, and that's not gonna make any things any better.
Oh. It's better to be informed on what you're doing.
Yeah,
We are watching you.
You're helping the cause. You know what I mean? That's what the point is.
I have nothing against your operation. It's just be well informed on what you're doing.
Well,
Yeah, to who you are doing it too. I mean, yeah. That's more what matters. But,
well, there's your.
Let me see. We do have some updates on Julian, Ecuador. It seems RT is the only news outlet besides WikiLeaks that is really covering this week what was going on with Julian. So Ecuador has been looking into investigating his asylum and his application that he had for nationality. And John, did something fall in your room?
yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, Ecuador is really looking to... I know they've been saying it left and right, blah, blah, blah. I really don't think that Ecuador is going to win on this one because I believe everything that Julian did to get his asylum status and nationality, there are no loopholes, and it was... his T's were dotted, and, everything was kosher,
I mean, it is in one way, but not in the other. So, I mean, being able to stay at the Ecuadorian embassy is not really what we're looking for. In the end, that's going to kill him. Access to medical care, access to the internet, basic human rights are also at play here.
And I don't know if anybody else saw this, but I've been seeing it go around. I didn't actually see the tweet, but there was a tweet from at WikiLeaks, and it said WikiLeaks or Julian, and I don't know what anybody was referring to. Like, are they referring to, like, either you choose us or Julian? I mean, it can be interpreted a bunch of ways,
Yeah. No, I mean, I worry about his health, the not sunlight and access to medical care and, normal food. I mean, all of those things. It's good that he can stay there and not be immediately arrested in the street outside the embassy, which is what the U.S. and U.K. want. But it doesn't, there's we need to get him out in just normal life. He shouldn't be under constant threat for his safety and freedom.
Well, I mean, to get him out of the pickle that he's in, public policy has to be overlooked, and the public has to make a bigger outcry for him to be out of the position that he's in. But the problem is, and this is a tactic that I know that has been working, is they're trying to silence his voice, not letting him have internet access. You know what I mean? So gradually they're making his voice very small.
They got him right where they want him now.
Yes.
I mean, this is perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
I keep hearing things that the U.S. Senate is gonna let him, give him immunity if he testifies and all this shit, and then nothing ever happens. I think they've been throwing that out there for like 2 years now, and it just mainly Rand Paul, but it never goes anywhere.
A whole set of people in there that were calling for his execution and would like him try.
Well, those guys are gone. They all got fired.
Well, there's always more rhinos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple more that would take up the opportunity. We have to make sure that he's getting a good deal. We just want his freedom. Freedom just to live your life. Not to live in a single room in the Ecuadorian embassy because you can't leave without being arrested or murdered. Not a good deal. And I know his health is definitely an issue at this point.
That is correct.
So yeah, I'd like to see him get a doctor. I'd like to see him get some sunlight and some good food. I care about the guy.
All right, that was Plan A. What's Plan B?
Oh,
what are we going to do? Plan B.
I say we start having the yellow vest the yellow vest protests outside the embassy, and then at the days when it's at its biggest, when we got 1 million people outside of the embassy, we just have him walk out, get into a cab, and disappear. Shave your head, do whatever you got to do, and we can get him to somewhere good from there, right? Eastern Europe, Russia. And that's if we want to, from them, we just got to, get to a good tan. We'll have your papers, the works. But yeah, I think that would be the best way to get him out, is just to be able to get him to disappear in a crowd. And then we can figure out a good, safe place for him. Because, geez, they don't even know where to start looking at that point.
No, I think you're right. You have to use like an illusion to get him out. Yeah.
Yeah, and just, would love to, but they're the riot police, they can't, you got a crowd filling up the street. It's just impossible to tell you one yellow vest from the other. Make sure we pass out masks on the way by.
I mean, at this point, if I were Julian, I'd just run. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm serious. Like, I would run, and I would go towards the next embassy and
you got to have a good plan, because look, there's people looking for you on all kinds of sides. So I mean, you're gonna have to really have your shit together.
That's true.
But I would say hand out a couple of box loads of a non-mask, so it's just like a sea of yellow vests and non-masks to make it as possible to pick a single person out. And then he can just march his way to wherever he wants to go. Open Europe, maybe get ourselves to Italy, somewhere where you can go and nobody will recognize you. Thailand, China, Russia, I'd pick somewhere with a nice beach. So yeah, I'd go with Cambodia.
Yeah, somewhat.
Like,
Some countries
Yeah.
not with the EU.
well, I mean, it depends how about it. Like, as we said before in the previous thing, how you feel about pirates?
They're okay, I guess.
We can get you to a safe spot, man. You'll be safe.
There's also
But
Sealand that's its own country off of in the on the it's on the east side of the UK.
well, you'd have to have somewhere where it would be a international problem.
Well,
You know,
that
they
Sealand
did,
is an international problem. It's declared its own country. That's where a lot of illegal servers are. Well, not a lot, but there are servers that are in no jurisdiction.
would be able to stop or make a deal out of them, big deal out of them landing a chopper and straight up taking it. You notice these are the same people that downed the commercial jet, right? Forced a plane to the ground, in another country to get him out of a plane that he wasn't even on. So, if you get to a place where it's like, yeah, they don't do anything about it, but you really can't do anything about it, they'll take advantage of that too. And then, look, you're at the bottom of the sea somewhere, and SEAL Team 6 is going on with their day.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I know that Julian can probably stay there for a lot longer, despite what the headlines are saying about him, which really isn't that much at this point. But at some point, push is going to come to shove, and somebody's probably going to do something not legally to get him out of there.
Well, I think there's going to be a desperate attempt at some point, and that may have been what we just saw here. If the world unfortunately is super quick. Some of these are the last codes that empire, right? Once our generation.
Oh, Terrence, you got to speak louder into that microphone.
They're killing it again. Fuck. All right, I don't have a lot of time, guys. Yeah, like I think I bought us a couple of things. Either way, they are really losing power quickly. You got all sorts of people in the Senate and the House. That system, yeah, they're straight up dying, right? They're getting old. People that are dead are slowly but surely being replaced with a generation that respects them. And they are starting to get down to the point where he may eventually just be able to walk out the hero that he is. And we are getting to that,
Oh, and I've been seeing some weird shit going on. I don't know, John, if you've been seeing this around Julian. Now there are people that are hanging out in front of the embassy. There he goes. We just lost him.
Yeah, he dropped out again.
Yes, and this is something that I'm not okay with. There are people that are hanging out in front of the embassy, and they're calling him Julian's security guards, and they're asking for GoFundMe campaigns, and they're standing in front of the embassy, asking people to fund them for something that somebody would do for free for anybody who's involved in activism. I really don't support paid activism.
We call them grifters. That's what I call them.
Well, and I've seen it before, and I was kind of like weirded out when I saw somebody who was hanging out in front of the embassy had a GoFundMe, and they were saying that they were Julian's security guard, and they wanted $3,000 US. Well, I mean, that's a nice thought and all, but it sounds kind of shady,
Well, motherfucker better be there for 100 days for that much money.
Nah, well, I know WikiLeaks is not getting any of that money, so don't pay anything to them. I mean,
yes, they're standing out in front of the embassy. Well, from the picture, I don't know if they're still there. They might have only been there for one day. It might all be a scam. But yeah, this individual had a GoFundMe going, and they were saying that they were Julian's security guard, and I'm like, well, that's not exactly true, because you're not in the embassy. You're hanging out in front and asking for donations.
yeah, so if you actually want to support WikiLeaks with money or whatever,
Help his legal
go
fund.
to Yeah, go to the defend.wikileaks.org. That is their website, and they have like some donation buttons and stuff. And if you're and don't give to anything else. I mean, they didn't set up this website for fun, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. To take his internet away because it violates. Yeah, I think the new president of Ecuador is just kind of making shit up as it goes along. Because I'm not taking away his internet was not part of any agreement, the initial agreement for his asylum status. You know.
No. But his legal defense is not defending against such things, because he already has lawyers who will do those kind of things, and they will even do that for free. The issue is these newspapers like The Guardian and stuff, who wrote a lot of shit about Julian Assange and about WikiLeaks, about so-called secret meetings with Trump campaign people and stuff. And WikiLeaks actually is taking these people to court over this, and because these are civil lawsuits, they will need a lot of money for that. So yeah, if you want the truth out, then you can support those kind of things.
And all of this is going on with Julian has kind of hindered what is kind of going on at WikiLeaks. You know, I know it's an independent thing, but the eyes are still on Julian. You know.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I just.
But they are.
Go ahead.
They are using the weakness that was also used against Anonymous in the past. The idea that there is some so-called leader you can attack and to kill the entire movement. I mean, Anonymous never had any leaders, and WikiLeaks doesn't have any leaders either. The fact is that Julian Assange has been the spokesperson for WikiLeaks, because he was kind of like the media guy, and he does have an actual history as a hacker and all these things, and he's been very important for WikiLeaks. But there is a whole team working on these things, and there are a lot of people involved with this. Also, a lot of journalists are still involved with WikiLeaks, and to use Julian Assange to take down an operation like that is just shameful. I think so. Yeah, pathetic. Yeah. And I always get angry when I read all these people saying WikiLeaks supports the Trump campaign or the Russians or whatever. I mean, they got 89,000 files available on WikiLeaks about the Russian corruption. So I don't know, maybe start reading through these. I mean, this is more than these Clinton emails. I mean, just start reading through these Russian corruption files, and you find a lot of dirt about Russia too, and they hate them just as much. I mean. But that's just how it is. And also to say that WikiLeaks only targets like the Democrat campaign, that you can only say such things if you were not following WikiLeaks in 2008, 2010 and stuff, because WikiLeaks became famous because of the collateral murder video that showed the crimes of George Bush army in Iraq, killing journalists with Apache helicopters. So those things.
Chelsea helped, yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea Manning helped with that, and the WikiLeaks always supported Chelsea Manning too. Always ran the Free Chelsea campaigns. Always did their best for the whistleblowers. So it always feels bad to have this history wiped out by these people who just didn't follow all that stuff. So
yeah.
And the days that the WikiLeaks was blocked by PayPal and MasterCard and all that stuff. I mean, the establishment was actually afraid of all of this. And
I guess a lot of people who start trash talking, WikiLeaks, and we do know, me and John know people who personally know people who have followed WikiLeaks from the beginning and are not with WikiLeaks. And they're not for it, but a lot of the people who trash talk it aren't well informed of how the situation came to be as it is today,
Yeah, and we've been around WikiLeaks since the early days, and when WikiLeaks was censored, we set up mirrors for them to stay alive, and at some point, all of the internet was uniting, and there were like over 2,200 different mirrors for WikiLeaks. They were complete copies of the website, and like pretty much everyone wanted to keep this site alive, and without that, the WikiLeaks would have died out long before any DNC leaks or whatever were placed. So we're we're talking about a long history of leaking, and this
Plenty of
just
ops,
sucks.
Operation Payback, and some others.
Yeah. Yeah, Operation Payback was a result of that. Yeah, of the censorship of WikiLeaks. I mean, all the payment providers blocked WikiLeaks, and the initial website was even DDoSed by certain groups. And
10,000 people around there.
yeah, and of course, CryptoMe is also famous whistleblower site. The guy from CryptoMe used to be involved with WikiLeaks. Kind of like broke with the rest of the team, but they are still in contact with each other. I mean, they wrap each other on the sites too. So this survival methods. But I mean, all around whistleblowing sites are important, and when these sites are taken down, we don't have any other bases anymore, except for now in this case the torrents. But there's also the question: how long will those things survive?
Well, there's also hidden things on Wikipedia that are if you search around.
Yeah. Yeah, you can of course find most of the stuff on like the dark web and stuff too, but the general public doesn't have access to it. So you're dealing with mainstream media pushing like one narrative, and there's almost no defense against it.
Yeah.
Because you need a defense for the general public. They need to read the truth too, and I mean, hackers or people who know how to do research, they will find all this stuff and then talk about it. But you're talking about CNN or Fox News or whatever getting like millions and millions of viewers every day, and
remember when they said it was illegal? Remember when they said it was on? I remember this, and I will pull up the clip if I have to. If somebody says this isn't real, but I remember watching TV on CNN during the Trump campaign, and I remember CNN saying that it was illegal to look at WikiLeaks.
There's not what the hell is that? Like,
yeah.
How can you even say these things? Like, this is crazy.
They said it was something that was said. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see how you're scaring the mainstream media, right? And but now we did arrive at the point that many people already doubt the narratives the mainstream media is pushing, and they are actually already thinking like not everything they say is actually true. It is, and like, how can you even believe everything the mainstream media says if you know, like, you're watching like a TV show and you see like certain commercials of companies that are like mentioned in the mainstream media? How can you even believe that these people will be critical about these companies they're showing in the commercial ads? Like, they're showing you commercials of these companies. They won't be critical about them. And many of the people we're talking about are all invested into these big companies too. And political parties that buy advertising space on these mainstream media channels. And how do you expect these mainstream media channels to be critical about these customers of them? Like, I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it used to be if they had any ethics at all, that they would stop taking money from that company and run a story because it was the truth. Now, I know that's a really wild thought in today's upside down world, but you know, there was a time when shit like that went on because it was the right thing to do. Now, why that's changed or when it changed, I don't know, but it's just, you know, they're just it's all corporate. I mean, I don't understand really why there's this bond, though, why it's so strong the way it is for like the corporate authoritarian type actions.
Well, now
I don't see how any of these media people think that's a good idea. You know,
Go ahead.
No, I don't see how they think that's a good idea, or how that furthers journalism or any of it. I just, it's a very different crowd from 40 years ago. As bad as that was, it was still propaganda going on. But at least, I mean, if there were real stories, some big stories going on, that's what you would see. They would give up that money to run the truth about a story. You might take their money a day later, but it's just like, that there was a process there to get out the truth, and it just wasn't all about your money and how sneaky you can be and all that business just so that you can make an extra buck. That's not news. I don't know where they got that idea. But they're all doing it now. Hell, they work for Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Anybody that says they don't like something, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll get right on that. I mean, how pathetic are you?
Yeah, but you're talking about like a media or like a corporate establishment that is like so deeply entangled with your governments, and that is like almost the same as in Germany in the 40s, right? With IG Farben and Volkswagen and stuff. They were like so deeply entangled with the governments, and they do the bidding of the governments. And I don't even want to say of the governments, because literally the media also decides about what politician rules and what politician doesn't. So they pretty much do the bidding of the establishment, like the people who really decide, kind of like, yeah. These people know how to utilize the media so well these days. Like, this is.
Well, yeah, to me, what I see is there used to be more of a government level dictating to corporation how things were going to be. Now it's that other way around. Now Facebook can just thumb its nose at the Congress and delete people and do whatever they want, bullshit to them in a hearing, and they just go about their business. There's no price to be paid for doing that in today's world. That's the difference. It's corporate run now, more like corporate fascism versus a government-led fascist, which kind of the old way. There was a merging, but it was still the government in control. Now it's like you have this merging, and you have this phony government that isn't in control of anything. They're taking, it's like, oh, Mark, he floats $100,000 to some guy on the committee, and all of a sudden he just flips. It's just like, I mean, that's how easy these people can be bought. It's how pathetic they are.
Yeah. But like, remember like George Bush, for example, like a smart Texas businessman, like into oil and all that stuff, coming from a very wealthy, intelligent family, and then responsible for all these international wars and benefiting from it with his companies too and his partners. And then the media pushing this narrative that he was actually a stupid guy, about showing these videos of him being unable to open a door or something, or saying something stupid. And they kept pushing this narrative about how retarded is this guy. But people forget that this guy became a president and became like a multi-millionaire using his oil companies and his stuff. And you're dealing with super intelligent, evil people. And I think it's the same as with Trump. It is the same as with Obama, actually, too. And it is always the same stuff. Like, Obama was pushed as a nice guy while he's responsible for sending drones, killing people. Like, what the hell is that? Like, these drones literally target mobile phones. They don't even target people. So if you're carrying the phone of someone else, you're literally going to be bombed with a drone. Like, what the hell is that? That's not even humane anymore. You're just thinking about numbers, killing as many numbers as possible. Like, this is.
Well, and then you blame it on the electronics or the. Well, it's the drone. It went wild and it killed some people. It's like it's like you don't even.
Oops, my bad.
Right.
My device went off.
Yeah, well, it's true.
Well, yeah, George Bush. What can you say good about that?
Yeah, whatever. Clinton, George Bush, Trump, Obama, it is all the same stuff. It's like
Yeah, and
I
just
like it.
they're all related. See, that's the behind the scenes that keeps happening all the time. They're all related, and nobody gets it. It's like, how does that happen in a country of 330 million? All these guys that get up there are all from the same family. They're all related. Give me a break.
Yeah, of course.
It's not real. It's just,
It's a pool of actors to choose from. Like, yeah.
yeah, just they'll promote two of the elite family members. One will be Republican, the other will be Democrat, and you get to vote. They don't care because either one works.
Yeah. Sometimes it makes you laugh, and then all these people fight. Like you have like the red and blue fighting with each other, and then sometimes you laugh, but sometimes you're like about to cry. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? And then you realize what's really going on. Like,
yeah, when you watch these partisan chumps get all wound up, as a D or an R, you just look at it, it's like, are you serious, man? It's like, you don't get this picture, what's going on. They'll see half of it, and they'll believe half of it, but then all the rest of it is fake news. It's like, oh, well, that's just Democrat fake news against their candidate, or it's,
yeah,
they
both parts, they're
off
guilty
so
of the
easy.
same
It's
stuff.
like, yeah, they just, both sides do it, though. It's just like the cognitive dissonance that goes on there is incredible. And then they wonder, well, how they end up at the end where they are. It's just like, well, because you got chumped. You act like a chump. You wanted to play the partisan battles and phony candidates and all the rest that they gave you. You never once had a brain cell fire to question any of it. You just went along, and then you wonder at the end, well, how did all that happen? It's like, well, because you're a chump. That's how it happens. Grow up.
Yeah, you're not getting a different government. You're getting either the authoritarian left or the authoritarian right. You're not getting the libertarian left or the libertarian right. They never win.
No.
Never.
No. Nope. You'll never see that. You'll never be given a freedom or a constitutional candidate, ever.
No.
And nobody says, oh, well, that's kind of strange, because you think it's like everybody talks about it. It's like, it seems like what they want, but then it never happens. And then you somehow migrate back to R&D and then play the game, and it's just silly. It's like a bunch of kids. They're older. I mean, you're all 40, 50, see however old these people are that are at the convention or whatever, waving the flags and everything. But it's still like they're like 5 or 6 years old. It's just like you've gotten older, but you never grew up. You never saw the game that was being played on you. Ever.
I don't even know a solution to it. That's like the weirdest thing I get.
No, that's that, and that is the tragedy. Problem at the end is there's no way to reach these people. You look at let's take even a big outlet like Fox News. It's like, oh man, it's like, here's the big show, and they got like 3 million viewers. 3 million in a country of 330, which is 1% penetration of the market. I mean, that's total shit if you ask me. But that's called good numbers, if you're a media outlet. And you think about that, it's just like, well, how does anybody get the word? That's how, that tells you right there that nobody is really informed. That's why nobody gets it. There's nobody even watching Fox News or reading any of these newspapers, because if you added up all the circulation, you're not getting the word out. Even the propaganda is not getting out at the end of the day. Nobody cares. Nobody gets it.
No, and everyone is obsessed with these dopamine-driven social media like Facebook and Twitter, and these quick likes, and these stupid pictures, always these stupid stuff. And then they get they're more interested in like drama and insulting each other. Yeah. You see like all these people over these things, like they're so interested in it, and like they're all joining in, but they're never doing this on the important stuff. Like you can't even debate on like philosophies, whatever you want to do with the world, like whatever you want to change in the world, because it'll instantly be stopped by saying like, no, you can't say these things. You must be a communist or you must be an alt-righter.
Oh yeah, I know who.
This
Yeah.
herder shit.
You're a Nazi. You're a Nazi, John. You're a Nazi.
Yeah, like herder.
I
Always
know
the
it.
same
Yeah.
shit. That's the kind of stuff, yeah. Yeah.
You hang out with them.
Oh yeah, you can't hang out with certain people either.
Yeah, I mean that's how. So that's what. Here's the thing. What you see on Facebook is exactly what you see out in the world every day. It is. You could say it's a microcosm or a macrocosm, either way, because it's really all the same. It's what people do every day. They do on Facebook. It's the same snipey, underhanded, taking snapshots, talking about you behind the scenes. That's the shit that powers the world. Hate. It's like why is that place y'all always talking to, the Hate Factory? Why are they so successful? Why do they have so many members? It's like,
Well, they actually
that's what makes the world goes round. They got what?
Well, they're around, but they're not as powerful as they used to be.
Oh well, still the power of hate, man. I mean, that works every time.
Yeah.
Somebody in our YouTube chat is asking if we are. They said, "Are we being filtered?" No, we don't censor anybody in the chat rooms. So I can see your comments.
I think I can read. I think I can read everything he's saying.
Yeah, I guess it's just unresponsive guest.
He did say we were awesome, so yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No, we don't censor people.
Why don't we talk about CenturyLink and the hacks there?
CenturyLink.
Maybe that's the wireless mind control thing. Facebook's working on that shit too, of course. How about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg working on wireless brain
Are you
interfaces?
serious?
Yeah. That was just a few days ago.
Wait. That's like fucking. We're talking like Matrix technology. I didn't even know that shit was. No, for real. I'm like gullible, dude. So don't play with me.
Well, no, I mean I think there's some patents out there for radio wave, behavior modification. I mean that's all been out there since like the 50s and 60s. So doing that with some device you've got on your head tied to Wi-Fi, yeah, I mean, sure. And the beauty of it, you don't have to implant anybody. Nobody takes the mark of the beast like they think they're going to take. It just happens.
Yeah, we know it's possible, like in theory already, and we also know that companies like Lockheed Skunkworks are like way ahead of the normal corporation stuff. So, like maybe like 30 years is what that old guy said.
Yes,
so they could be doing it.
Yes, Skunkworks does, and all of those black ops stuff. The technology is about 30 years ahead of what we think that they have. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Facebook wanted to be in your head.
Well, I mean, they use brainwaves, altering people's brainwaves. They've done all sorts of experiments with that. There's a good chance they were using it at Standing Rock, using the area of denial systems to alter people's brainwaves, alter people's behavior. They've used it in Mexico at the embassy, the Cuban embassy, was it? Or was it in Cuba? Either way, they used it in a certain range. It can affect your stomach, makes everybody really nauseous, sick in the building. They were using it for that. So, I mean, there's been several instances now where they use these machines to alter wavelengths through some sort of radiation, whether that be radio waves or what have you, microwave.
I think it's microwave.
Well, and I mean, they know what megahertz they can broadcast on that affects brain activity, what megahertz they can broadcast on that affects machinery. At a low level, it'll cause your batteries and your electronic devices to fail. There's lots of things that this technology, this tech can do, and it's
ELF.
hard. No, no,
ELF was,
spend a shitload of money, but trust me, you will not be as impressed as what they have down there as you would think. They like to tote themselves 30 years ahead. The top fucking thing that they have on the planet right now is a fucking drone, right? A remote control plane. That's what they're making down there. I would not. Guys, these are the people that came out with the F-22.
Hey, if you want to put a link, Ciano Castillo, to that video, put it in the chat.
Yeah, and if you guys know, our only working flight of F-22 was downed by the hurricane. It's going to cost us another $1 billion or something to repair them now. That was done on purpose. Well, no, the deal is the F-22 is the last manned aircraft that we probably will ever make. So it needs to be the most expensive manned aircraft, the last one that we can get. So they're every last penny. They'll probably not even fly, right? I think it's not a drone that'll outperform any side of an F-22. So if your opponent, Russia, they've got drones, fighter drones, that do F-16, anything. You can't react to those forces, which means that
Oh man, you sound fragmented.
fragmented packets.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of technologies that they're pushing out a lot of money already obsolete. They're the last versions of that horse cavalry that they're making. The F-22 was the equivalent of horse cavalry in the invention of the machine gun. Drones or machine guns. And they're going to fleece us as much as possible on those F-22. And technologies like because, like I said, today I think it's on the drone that will outperform the best fighter jet easily, right? And if it gets blown up, it's more of a loss of my pilot's lives. So my pilots fly completely without fear. The deal is the F-22 is already obsolete, but it's much off before the rest of the world wakes up to that, or the
Someone in the chat talks about the quantum radar. So I was reading about this China inventing this quantum radar thing, and can detect pretty much.
Quantum radar? What the fuck?
They claim to be able to detect anything like stealth planes and stuff in space, and
well, I mean, stealth
the CETC.
The stealth we use now works by the trajectories, the angles that you can. Those all been declassified. And pretty much, they made a big deal. It was a psyops about the paint, right? We made a big deal that the stealth planes, that the paint was special. So we made it that, like, we would check underneath people's fingernails. They tried to put in all sorts of, infiltrators and spies to try to recover. We made this huge deal over the paint that really didn't have anything to do with it, with radar-absorbing paint, which wasn't a thing. But the angles that the planes are kept radar from hitting, right? When you stop and think about it, there's a 3-ton piece of metal flying through the air. And the only way that you can figure out that it's there is by shooting sound waves. We're dealing with people that are not coming out with brilliant technologies. How many, radar's 100 years old now?
Yeah, I think it was first commercial use was in World War II.
Yeah, so I mean, we're really pushing the limits. You can't detect a 2-ton flying piece of metal that's so loud it'll burst your eardrums if you're standing next to it, screaming through the air at Mach 2.
Well, you know what they're working on is actual. They've been playing around with this shit for a while. It's putting the planes and actually making them invisible by putting the similar technology as like the Predator. the Predator shit, but what they were thinking about was putting on like LCD like material that would project what was on the other side of the object, so it would look like that they were there, but they weren't there. You know?
Active.
They have done that. They have
Yeah.
done that. The soldiers have. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. That's we're working for like the people that were fighting each other. That would probably be fine for the human eye because we see in such a closed range. But as far as drone technology is concerned, I'm not really relying on the viewable spectrum as much as you would be on
Right.
normal person. So yeah, it would be
Yeah.
fine for needed to take a village or something, but if I had a drone, I'd be able to pick it off no problem. It wouldn't be a difficult thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't defeat a thermal scope.
Yeah, so I would, how we would look. I mean, that seems like it'd be pretty easy. That sounds like it's pretty easy.
No, of course, thermal scanners and stuff. That will, of course, see it. But there are also ways to combat that.
Yeah, I
mean,
think that's the deal with it. That's the deal. It's an unending game of, I build this, so you build that, so we build this. We don't ever fix our health. We're gonna go back and forth and building the same machines that do the same shit that we already know how to do.
Oh no! Somebody put you can't beat thermal. Actually, you can. It's just
okay. I'll
it's
give you guys
unconventional. A lot of unconventional ways of beating thermal.
not
Yeah.
even we used it at Standing Rock to move our people and equipment around by just using the thermal blankets that you wrap yourself around in the wintertime, the emergency blankets.
Yeah, if you put mud or if you put something on your body that makes you look like you're in your environment, you can beat it.
Yeah, you can warm up. What we also did was warm up the environment around us, so it would blind the people that are around
Or cool
there.
it down. Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
That's all. It's a game. It's the same. Yeah, it's just the thing is you have to eventually say, hey, like, we're done playing this game. We'd like to play something else. Imagine if we put all of that know-how, all of those scientists, all of that technology to building stuff that we don't know how to do already. Like, we've got the each other thing down, right? We can do something else now.
We know how to kill each other very efficiently. Let's
like,
try something new.
I'm just not impressed. Like, oh, well, we can blow up the world 102 times now. Okay, I guess I'm more impressed than 101 times. Yeah, like, really, anything above 1, and I'm no longer impressed. Like, anybody that tells me, like, it's holding the nuclear codes that tells me I can blow up the world 100 times, I'm going to be like, okay, thanks, do that. Hold on to this.
Well, it plays well to narcissist and government, though. It's that, who's got the bigger government deck,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, yeah, you got to...
I could destroy the world 104 times!
There would be a benefit to ICBMs, I guess, with meteorites and stuff, and but that's about it, I think. For the rest,
We proved over
you're
time,
only
the big ones that could smack into us, it's much easier to just nicely move them out of the way than it is to try to smash thousands of tons of TNT.
No, what we need to develop is like shit like they got in Star Trek, like force fields and shit, Those would be cool.
If we weren't wasting our time, like, we waste a huge amount of time
Well,
on bullshit.
it's theoretically possible using plasma, but you wouldn't get like an arc. It would be more like a straight wave,
Well, it's the thing. It takes research. So I mean, even they have done they do airlocks using plasma, and a magnetic field, because that's the thing about plasma. You can hold it in a magnetic field, and it's just enough to keep atmosphere. So when you see in Star Trek and they come in and out of the shuttle bay without opening any doors, we can do that. Today's technology, we can do that. But we're wasting our time on things like $1 trillion for the F-22, like an obsolete aircraft, right? Rather than spend our money researching shit that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could add some solar panels to satellites and use all these satellites together to make something.
Oh, free internet. That's what I was so disappointed in Elon Musk with putting his car up there, because for the same price, he could have given the planet, however he did it, one spot, free internet, right? Or have it so that it only, the line that it's broadcasting, everybody gets free internet for 30 minutes kind of thing. As the Earth turns. There's all sorts of ways that you could have done some really great things, that great things are possible. Just not thinking about it. I know India is supposed to be putting up by 2025 a global internet system.
Well, they've already got India has already launched on the moon. They already have a cellular network set up, and China just landed today on the moon,
Yep.
and they have a rover that's going around, and it's kind of making the USA space agency suspicious. But all they got is a rover, guys. It's just a rover.
Got some good outside of the moon, which NASA would not fucking give us, which is kind of cool.
Uh-oh. Here we go, guys. AK has the whole fucking thing decrypted.
Damn.
We see in our chat there.
No, AK is posting it on his shit. He says this might get him suspended. Information wants to be free and decrypted. 9/11 archive layer 1. And I'm not going to put the alias to... but guys, download this in the chat while it's hot before it disappears.
I'm going into it now. Okay, he's fast. He must have been downloading it for some time.
AK is always on the road, so I don't know where he might have a good connection right now.
I'm in his drive right now. There's a lot of documents. Oh my god.
Yes, there's an alias or a that Dark Overlord is going through, but I'm not sure if it's his account or somebody that he's communicating with, but it might be the latter. But yeah, we now have 11 gigabytes of decrypted 9/11 data.
Okay, and these are actually highly classified things.
Yeah.
I've opened a few now, and it's really some interesting stuff.
Let me see. Holy moly. How many files are on here? Holy shit. Let me read this. Global Aviation Service Corporation background information in reply to the World Trade Center, file number 2178-15. Minimum of 18 years old with high school diploma, some college preferred. Some of it's... These are internal documents. This is definitely stolen material.
From?
People from the World Trade Center, emails.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it looks like intelligence documents. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Preliminary subrogation analysis will
Yeah,
fit
get
center.
AK. Can you get AK into the chat room?
Yeah.
Some of these are documents from court cases. Holy shit. Well, if you guys want to follow our friend online and get the documents, it's at Anon AK Knowledge, and he has posted decrypted files.
Okay. He's going to come.
Yeah,
1 second.
give him a link.
Okay, I sent him the Hangouts link.
Yeah.
I closed the link after he joined. He's on his way. Okay. Yeah.
So we're waiting for our friend or Xenu.
They're asking for the link in the chat. We're not.
I kind of want, like I said, you guys can follow his Twitter.
Okay, I'm going to post his Twitter account.
Yeah.
Because he leaked it on there, so we're going to post his Twitter then. And then please get it there as fast as possible.
Hey, it's Xenu.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm dying right now, but they just dropped the decryption key for these files, so I was getting ready to hop on. I'm looking through them right now. Nothing really significant, but they do have the files. It's legit.
Those are stolen emails. I'm looking through a couple of them. Those somebody had to eject something.
Yeah, no, it's legit. Everybody was wondering if this was legit or not. It's 100% legit. It's not a LARP.
No, all this stuff says confidential privilege. This is all kind of. This is not public information.
No.
Is it cool if I put your Google Drive thing in the chats or no? I prefer not to.
I mean, I don't. It's not my Google Drive, so I don't really care. I don't know. Like I said before to somebody else, whoever put up that Google Drive, I hope that they had accurate. I hope they had adequate protections, because if not, you're getting your door kicked in.
Yeah, I mean, they're every place that I was following the Dark Lord 5 days ago or a couple days ago, and I was like, whatever, just a cool screen name. I didn't pay attention to it until like another reporter, independent investigative journalist, was like posting this shit about 9/11 docs and this conspiracy. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this guy even talking about? And then I was like, okay, like a couple hours go by, and then I'm seeing like files come out or torrent links, and I was just like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. Apparently they have the hacked litigation documents, which is interesting because of Silverstein. You know, the whole thing behind Silverstein.
They want to know a Twitter link. I'm not going to give up our guest Twitter link. We'll just send a link to the file.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, the like I said, the Silverstein whole litigation, you know, it's interesting because he had a insurance policy that was opened prior to the attacks, you know, and it covered the attacks, ironically. So if they have those documents, this is going to get pretty messy.
All right, our viewers have the documents now.
Well, this is only layer one. And here's the thing that kind of worries me. If you're reading what they're saying that they're going to hold on to the most confidential documents to sell them privately.
I got you.
Yeah, well, they made clear that they were doing it for money.
Right. And another thing about these guys is they are they have previously attacked schools, medical centers, and other types of infrastructure. So this is kind of like a bit of walking on thin ice in a way.
Yeah, it seems like every place that this guy goes, he gets knocked off, and his posts were not on Pastebin for that long before.
Well, it's a group. Yeah.
That's what I figured. I figured it was more than a lone wolf operation.
Yeah, I've got the flu right now. It's pretty bad, actually. It's gotten progressively worse, man. Like, I've had it, like, Mark knows. I've had it for fucking forever. God damn, like, almost like 2 months now.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
You should go to the doctor, bro.
I went to the doctor. They gave me medicine. I can't really afford it that much and everything, but I went to the doctor. They gave me medicine, and I've been taking the medicine. I ran out of the medicine now, so I'm just taking like regular cough syrup and shit. But yeah, it seems like it's been getting like progressively worse. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, you might need like a Z-Pack or Levaquin.
I had a Z-Pack. They gave me a Z-Pack. I took it, and then like maybe like a week or two after, I got way worse. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're resistant to azithromycin, the next step up would be Levaquin. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that
Levaquin. Yeah, I mean, the medicine's cheap. It's a doctor visit that isn't.
Right. Yeah, it costed me $120 just to go to the doctors, and I was like, it's not really that expensive, but I'm not making that much money right now because of the whole ad-apocalypse and everything going on. Thanks, Google. Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amazon. Fuck you. But, yeah,
You're on Steam it now, so, I mean, that's going to be some income.
It gives a little bit, but since Steam's down so much right now, it's not giving as much as it used to. Like, I used to be able to live off of Steam it, and working just for activist posts, but I can't do that anymore. So
somebody
says,
what is that link that I put in there? Well, that is what we've been. Those are the hacked documents from the Dark Overlord, and that is the first release. So regarding 9/11,
I already found something interesting, but it was already stuff we kind of knew already. But in one of the files, it says in July 2001, GMAC loaned the Silverstein parties $563 million to finance the World Trade Center leasehold and securitize the loan through the issuance of mortgage-backed securities to a number of institutional investors.
Yeah,
so that's about Silverstein insuring all the stuff before it actually happened.
Right, yeah. But here's the other thing. Here's the thing that I saw. The biggest thing that I've seen that's come out of this so far is literally just them saying about shredding documents. And I was like, what? Shredding documents? And then I looked up the protocol for government cases, and apparently in a government case, it's protocol to shred documents after a case. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah. No, I was like, wait, what the fuck is that? That's crazy.
Yeah, if you're a rogue CIA group, yeah.
No. Like, just a regular, normal government case, like top secret or secret case. It's protocol for the law firms to actually shred documents after they're done the case. I was like, wait, what? I never knew that, first off. And then, second, wouldn't that be breaking the law of...
yeah, because you're supposed to be a court of record, and if you don't keep records, you're not a court of record.
Well, no. Not only that, but the government is supposed to keep archived records for a certain amount of time.
True.
That blew my mind, man. I was like, wait, what? They're saying about shredding documents on 9/11? I was like, wait, what? That's crazy.
Somebody's saying they don't know how to download it. You can download this. Just don't report the link that we put out there, or I will lose my account and you will never see me again back on Facebook. This show will never be on Facebook again. So
The show won't go on, huh?
no, it'll be on, just not on Facebook.
So fuck you. We're doing you a favor to be on Facebook right now. We don't want to be there.
Hey, it's missed. Hey, it's a fire sale, man. It's half price. If it was a good stock at $220, $230,
Get your
it's a great
Also,
stock.
if you're downloading these documents, if you're not using a VPN, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Also, it'd be wise to use a VM or a virtual machine to open up the documents. Who knows what somebody else has added or was already in there?
Well, you can actually just view them directly from Google Drive. That's what I've been doing. I haven't downloaded these. Yeah. But typically, you want to use a VMware to isolate whatever before you open it, or a sandbox.
Yeah.
Either works, but yeah.
We should put out a quick disclaimer too. I mean, we're doing this show not for profit. We don't make any money with this. The stuff we mentioned, we are doing this out of research and to educate our listeners. So this is all for educational purposes, and we're doing nothing illegal to actually visit these files and to educate you about this. So it's just a journalistic thing. But yeah.
Well, wait. Before you end that, it might actually be illegal to have these documents, to be honest with you. So, I mean, like I said, if you're going to download these fucking documents, make sure you use a VPN. If you're not using a VPN to download these documents, you're an idiot.
Yeah, no, I agree. Everyone should use a VPN just to be safe.
And be
yeah, that's the only thing.
Like you said, VM, just so you know what's up. But there's going to be, if these are all real and if this is going the way it is, there will be a concerted effort to release misinformation. So they'll release files with that name that have a virus in it. They'll start campaigns in a bunch of groups and pages. You get the emails. If you get a message or an email from this person, don't open it because it's going to do things like that so that people aren't getting to the information. Just be aware. I don't want you guys to get viruses. Yeah, don't go to the page.
Watch, the FBI comes to my house after this show.
We actually posted the link in there to show people where not to go. Don't download that information over the information that's now. About
also, CryptoMe has posted all of the documents that they've been posting on their Twitter feed, and they've been mirroring them on cryptome.org.
I'm surprised that major media outlets are not covering this. Like Forbes is trying to Forbes try to downplay this.
Well, I messaged the guys from TYT, other organizations, and told them, hey, look at the live stream, the link's in there. Make sure that this is out to the media.
They're just taking media directives is what they're doing.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully these guys are kind of my friends. Let's hope. So when it gets to the bigger and bigger stuff, that's when the control happens. I'm hoping the guys at TYT are a little bit are still off the chain and free, and hopefully they'll pick this up.
Well, did you see the 4chan AMA where they joked and said that they had documents on UFOs?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they said they had documents on UFOs. Somebody asked, on a scale of 1 to 10, how shocking are these documents? And they said 7.5. But then they said, but the next release that we have on UFOs is definitely a 10.
Oh, Jesus, please do that, guys. How much you want? No, fuck these guys. Fuck these guys. How much you want? If you've got no, I'll go to prison. I don't give a fuck, right? If you've got, right, you've got whatever they said, 12,000, I'll double it, 24 right now. I'm gonna sell my fucking truck. If you've got undisputed about aliens, how much you want? Name a price. I'm not a rich man, guys. I gotta work hard, right? But
All right, now Terrence, what are you going to do with anti-grav and warp drive? What the hell are you going to do with that? Come on, man.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah,
I've
where,
actually,
where are you going to go? I mean,
Fuck Dapple.
Yeah,
as
this
a
story's
fun
way
fact,
bigger.
as a fun fact, I actually heard that Tom DeLonge and his initiative To the Stars are actually going to make a big push this year for disclosure, more than they did last year.
There's that
Potentially in
Blink-182 guy.
Q2. Yeah, right. He has a source that we both share, and it's one of the guys who's working with them on To the Stars initiative. But yeah, they're going to make a big push to try to bring out a little bit more military videos of UFOs.
That came out. I remember this time last year. Remember the CNN had a video that was leaked from the Navy, and it was like an object at 32,000 feet that was spinning on its axis in every direction.
Yes, they have way more.
Yeah, like alien aircraft and UFOs are two separate. But talking real really love to see that. If it's there's a lot of stuff that are UFOs that exactly that, unidentified. And
yeah. Well, here's the thing that a lot of people are kind of up in the air about. Some of these are most definitely extraterrestrial. The other half of these are just military black projects that because of the compartmentalization in the military-industrial complex, they don't tell each other what they're doing, right? The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. So a lot of these are actually military projects.
Crash in Texas, I really like to have like real information about, as well as the Dark Knight project. I really love to see the information that they have about it. The one in Texas, super interesting. This is 50 years before flight, right? We weren't using big balloons. This thing crashed hill in the middle of nowhere. Out of the sky, collect a little body out of it, give him a good. They know he's from the stars, right? The people that are there, it's completely logical.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that there's been Roswells on the East Coast, the West Coast,
Russia.
in the UK, in Russia. Yes, all over the fucking planet.
Remember there was a couple in Beijing that shut down the. Remember they don't know what it was. They shut down the airport twice
because it hit the plane. Yes, I do remember that, and they said that. What is it? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a UFO that just hit the plane. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
like we got optical avoidance on our drones and all of that stuff.
Well, the drones can't travel that fast. They can travel fast, but they don't go that fast.
No, what I'm saying is that my drone has optical avoidance. If you were traveling at even a portion of the speed of light, you would need some optical avoidance so that you can't your eye-hand coordination. You wouldn't be able to do something going that fast. So the ship has to be able to do it. Why are these spaceships constantly smacking into shit?
Maybe they found weed.
Oh God.
If anything, that is the only reason that you would come into this neighborhood would to be get some fucking weed. Like, why are you going to Earth?
There's speculation that it's because of gold, and there's also speculation that it's because of oil.
Well, I would doubt very highly that it was a natural resource. That gold and other natural resources, anything that is abundant.
Well, gold is fundamentally a rare element throughout the cosmos.
Yeah, and it might be used. It might be used in some type of way to power.
Rare. There is every time a sun is made, gold is produced. It's not rare in any way, shape, or form. So there's more gold than you can imagine.
Well, you guys remember the Anunnaki? They wanted. Remember in the stories they wanted gold, and they created a slave race to mine the gold.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's where I got it from.
I don't believe in the whole stitch-in thing, but I do. But in his interpretation, but the writings are there. They're 100% there in written in what is it? It's I forget
what
Sumerian.
Sumerian. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's there. People don't think that his translations were right per se, but
I don't think they're 100%
it was pretty damn
accurate.
close.
Yeah, I don't think they're 100% accurate.
I'm sure that they're not. And here's the deal. Like, if you were crash landing, that gold might be something on the planet that you might need. But on a galactic scale, gold is in no way, shape, or form a commodity, right? There's more gold than you can imagine, more diamonds, more lead, more, I mean, name a resource, and in the universe, there is huge amounts of it. So when you hear entities try to come here to get power, those are things that the man monkey wants. The man monkey wants slaves, the man monkey wants pyramids, the man monkey wants gold. Those are the things that people want, right? You don't travel to the other side of the universe to get gold that you could get an infinite amount of next to you. You hear what I'm saying? Like, those are, you have to, if there's something that they're coming for, most likely it's us.
Yeah, it could be humans too. Yeah, with DNA experiments and stuff like that.
Well,
to be
remember
honest,
the Mayans were affiliated. Where the Mayans and most of the Indian cultures believe that they've been contacted by what they call the sky gods, and their main thing was gold, and gold was useless to them. you know?
It's funny because if you go back through history, there's all these different cultures that have the same stories essentially.
I think we get into that
about aliens.
Religion, right? Jesus comes to Earth and tells you all the, take care of your neighbor, whatever, and within 1,000 years, they're worshiping the gold and silk and guys with big fucking hats, right? The aliens probably came down here and said, love each other, build something that is for agriculture. They came back 1,000 years later, we built giant pyramids and gave everybody gold. That is totally not what I said, but what humanity does to every creature that they seem is higher than them, right? If a god comes down here and tells you to love each other and all you do is say, give me as much gold as possible, it makes this that if something else visited you and said, hey, this is a good way for you guys to farm, right? Or here's a machine that'll help cure disease. What do? Oh, build a big temple in gold. That's what humans do.
Yeah, well, pretty much all cultures do share the same story about visitors from above.
Do you remember the hacker, the Scottish hacker?
Gary McKinnon.
Yes,
Gary McKinnon.
Yeah. He said that he said that he hacked NASA to see that if and he said he found what he was looking for. That's the only thing that he said.
No. He specifically said that he found a space navy.
Oh, really?
A picture that was open on one of the PCs, but the quality was kind of low. But he did really see exact pictures of the so-called spaceships, and he also talked about extraterrestrial officers.
Well, I mean,
yes. That goes into the whole secret space program.
Yeah,
Space Force.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that too. I mean, you start seeing like Trump now trying to push this Space Force. Actually, if you go back, Bush was actually talking about Space Force before, but supposedly it never happened.
Well, I mean, that's just so. I mean, the Air Force, the Army, they all have weapons. They all have things that deal with space and satellites and all of that. I mean, it's the only reason that they get away with it is because you can't get up there and check.
Well, yeah, but I've actually heard that the Omaha, Nebraska Navy is actually the headquarters for the secret space program.
I mean, we have Space Command, which already has.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say one of them is over by my house for the Air Force. Yeah.
Yeah, there's an old agency. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But it just screams that they're hiding something.
Oh, what the project Blue Book?
I'll dig it. No, I'll dig it up. I'll dig it up in a second. You just keep talking, but I'll find it.
Every 10 years, they like release a thing, we shut down the program, we're not looking at extraterrestrials anymore. And then every 10 years, you find out that they continue to do it. I don't know why they make like the illusion that they don't check into it. Yeah, the Air Force just, we finished up the Project Book, and now what should happen to this guy? We just oh, that'd be great. It's not something that we down like whether it's that you just know where they are, ancient or present. We just know that there's more to that story. Otherwise, we wouldn't hide it so much. Like you went through a lot of work.
So
Wow.
in the meantime, I've been digging through these files, and what I can pretty much confirm is that these guys actually hacked into a lot of law firms to get all these files.
Yeah.
They're coming directly from law firms and not from the government. I think it is called communication between lawyers and clients, and I think they hacked, like they did to the Netflix thing too. They actually hacked into companies connected to the situation.
It's called Air Force Space Command. That's what I was thinking of earlier. And the other one is Naval Space Command, which is the Omaha, Nebraska base, supposedly.
Of course, they have these kind of programs. I mean, it's the military.
Well, here's the thing. There's so much money. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. There's so much money that's been missing, like over generations. And these programs are funded by like off the books type of stuff, like drug running and gun running and human trafficking. That's what these programs are funded by.
Yeah, but also what many people forget is that the money that is paid to the military is not actually lost, right? It is just paid to these big weapons manufacturers, so it is still there. So they pretty much have like endless budgets to spend on this stuff. Like you're paying tax money.
Yeah. They cook their budgets. That's what they do.
Yeah, but I mean, you're paying tax money to like the military, to the defense budget, right? But this defense budget pays the money to these big companies like Boeing, like Lockheed and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So the money doesn't disappear. It is not like it's paid to. No, the missiles are actually bought at Lockheed. So Lockheed makes the money, and they can still make other equipment.
It's more poor accounting. Yeah, it's more poor accounting when it comes to like the Pentagon. The Pentagon missing budget. What the hell is it now? Like 10 trillion plus.
Trillions.
Yeah, it's like 10 trillion or something, right? When it comes to that, I mean, that's just poor accounting where they're not accounting for like different things, or they're just like there was a joke about like $100 screwdriver. Like the government charges like $100 for a toilet or something.
Well, no, this goes back years, but there was, I want to say 20 years ago, they were looking at some of the systems like that CIA had developed, and they were like, well, wait a minute, we never budgeted you guys for that. That was for this other agency, and they've got the same thing, and we know how much they spent. So it was just like, where the fuck did you guys get that money? And of course, they're not talking.
Oh, so, yeah,
this goes on all. I mean, there's so much dirty money there. That probably doesn't even come from our tax money. That's a whole different problem. But I mean, they're doing things that you will never know about, that the Congress would never know about, the president not necessarily, the intelligence people or the military might know about it, wherever the rogue groups are.
It's on a need to know basis.
Yeah. But they're so far rogue, they don't have to talk to anybody, explain anybody to anything.
Well, they don't have a budget. That's not how MMT works, right? So, I mean, these it's beyond black. You can sell enough drugs on the planet to fund these things. That's not how our monetary system doesn't work on a tax basis. We're not taxed $8 trillion a year. That's how much it, makes to put a base on Mars. But our military, the Air Force specifically, does not. It doesn't matter if it costs $1 trillion, $2 trillion, 10 trillion, 11 trillion. It doesn't matter what number you put on there. They're not constrained by any of that because That's not how the monetary system works. That's not how our economic system works. I can put money anywhere I want because that's how much it costs. That makes more industry. That's how it works. Where we're kind of led to believe that you have to come up with these funds from somewhere. So you end up going down these rabbit holes that black drug running continues to fund drug running.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to sell enough cocaine to make a base on Mars.
No, but between all the seized property, I mean, there's enough money there to do a lot of things. Yeah, you can't build a Mars base, but
nothing good.
But over years of doing it, I mean, think about it. I mean, let's say you've been doing this since the late 40s. You've established corporate bases, residential investments. You've got a huge cartel type apparatus built up by now after 50 to 60 years.
Yep.
That could be into all sorts of things, like a conglomerate. It's into everything.
Right, yeah, that's what Eisenhower was warning about when he said that the military-industrial complex was basically becoming its own government, its own shadow government.
As far as industries, I mean, that was Eisenhower. We can just as easily build guns and bullets as we can plowshares, right? We can just as easily build to a better world as we can to destroy it. The builders don't care.
Yeah. Well, they get paid to Halliburton gets paid to rebuild countries, like.
Oh yeah, they get paid. But can you name the country Halliburton has rebuilt successfully?
It's just successful fascism. It's like you could make money, peace or war, but you make more money quicker going to war. So it's a pure corporate decision. It's like, oh well, fuck, our bottom line looks better here. We're going to war.
It's not even just that
really
though. It's like. It's like one contractor bombs the country, the other one comes in and fixes the country, and they're both making money. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
That's the order out of chaos. Their order, your chaos.
Yeah, order up, chow.
They've got very few ideas. How do you make money? War. Okay, you're fine. Right? There's other ways to make money way better, but the world will be much more prosperous at peace than it is at war. The thing is, those 5 people making money, which is what they're really scared of. Not that we won't do better, that those 5 people will do better, because that's all they've ever known, that's all they've ever done, that's all they're invested in.
Yeah, and their scheme works. I mean, as strange and as weird as it is, their scheme of doing shit, which is so fucked up, actually works.
Yeah, well, of course it works. It's profitable
for thousands of years. Yeah, I mean, they're weird psychology, but
that's coming to the street halt.
Yeah, there's this whole media thing again, right? We're depending on a critical media that's not there. There's no critical media. These journalists should be exposing all this stuff, but they're not doing it.
Well, you would think you'd think with Trump, right? Trump doing all these things like putting troops into Africa. You would think that the mainstream media would be yelling about him putting troops into Africa because they hate Trump, right? No, I haven't heard anything.
No. They only complain about the stuff that doesn't benefit them, like his sexual stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what they complain about.
The war, they are all agreeing 100%.
Yeah, no, that's what doesn't. Yeah, it's like
you saw it this last time when Trump says he's going to pull out of Syria and Afghanistan. Even the liberal media, they're like, "Oh, this is dangerous. This is crazy." It's
so much.
Where's the anti-war left that I knew growing up from the Vietnam era? What the hell?
Or another example with Brian Williams. He was like. When Trump bombed Syria with missiles, he was like, "These missiles are so beautiful." If I quote,
I remember that. The hell he quoted. I remember that.
Whoever the fuck he quoted, I wrote. Yeah, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, man?"
He was close to quoting Melania. He said, "We did it for the children because we saw all the children dying, and Melania didn't like it." So he said something like that, and I was like, "You made an informed decision based on an emotional reaction for war."
Great.
I'm like, this is the person we have that's the commander-in-chief with the fucking access codes to the news?
To be honest, she is the only person in the White House qualified for her job.
Oh, her job.
At least,
Oh,
yeah. Well, at least she looks good. I mean, she can make the whole thing look good just by being there. I mean, that's a great advantage that he has.
That's what he. Yeah, that exactly.
Damn. His only advantage at this point is
We're going to war with China and Russia, guys. But it's okay because Melania Trump's here to hype it up.
get our asses kicked.
oh yeah. Do you hear? They're just swooping up Canadians right now because of the whole CFO thing. That was our fuck up too. We started that.
So we start the shit, and then they get Canadian. Well, that's pretty clever, actually.
We got the Chinese are going after Canada, and it's all our fucking fault.
That's what Trudeau gets for fucking following us. What are you thinking, dude?
Who cares if they're selling? Who cares if they're selling fucking cheap ass fucking cell phones to Iran? They're fucking third party pieces of shit phones anyway.
I'm surprised the Canadians fell for that.
Well, you know that China actually threatened the U.S., right?
Yeah. I remember that. They said you will regret this or some shit.
No. This was more recent. This was probably like a month ago. And mainstream media didn't say anything about it. But it was all over Chinese media where one of the generals, a huge general in China, basically said that if the U.S. comes into our water again, that they're going to shoot the ships and sink them.
Oh, that's the North China Sea. We're tested. I mean, already, like, the name of the place is the North China Sea. That's China. That should be pretty self-explanatory.
Well, it's their ocean, you know.
I mean, it's named the North China Sea. Like, there's no doubt. But yeah, we're. I mean, that's China.
We're not really good with.
You got to speak into that microphone.
I am as close to this microphone as I can possibly get.
Yeah, you're being censored again, I think. There's something with your connection.
I normally get about 30 seconds between when my mic starts to fade out. And
Well, we haven't been real good at honoring anybody's sovereignty for quite a while now.
No, not at all.
I mean, oh gosh, I can go back into the '60s. Mossadegh and all that in Iran. That was before the Shah and everything. I mean, it's just ever since I've been alive, it's been going on.
Well, that was all Bush, wasn't it?
Way back then? No, man, you're talking like, was Truman, Eisenhower? I'm quite a bit older, so I remember things the youngsters don't. But
oh wait, you said 60.
60, yeah, Mossadegh. I mean, this is
okay,
before the Shah.
Yeah. Right.
No, I mean,
Okay.
We set all this up the whole time, and it was going on before us. The British played that game, the great game, for how long?
Well, they did the same thing again with Iraq. Before years ago, the British, they ran a propaganda operation. It was called Mass Appeal in like the 80s. I think it was the 80s. But they ran the point being is that they ran Operation Mass Appeal, and then years later they produced that fake WMD memo. Remember the whole Downing Street memo deal? And it was a copy. Yeah. It was a copy pasted academic document. Like it's just, we're just copy paste here, copy paste there. Oh, all right, this looks good. Submit.
Yeah, since
it's crazy,
it's like
man.
Some document that some think tank or some group comes up with. It's like, oh well, we've got the document now. We're going to go to war. It's like, well, who the hell are they?
Right.
Some think tank. What the fuck's that?
Yeah.
Doesn't even go through your military or your war college or none of it. It doesn't come from some real source. It's like, oh, you corporate banking guys over there at the think tank came up with that. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, I think it was MI6, but I could be wrong. But I think it was. But the point being is that it's just like it's never ending. It's just the same cycle over and over again, same bullshit. like you can use Iraq, Afghanistan as a mirror to what's going on now in the U.S. with blaming Russia for everything.
Yeah, you see, and the people go for it. There's always seems to be this, no matter what is said, even if it's complete bullshit propaganda, you get 20 to 30% of the people that will swear that it's the truth, and they should know better. It's just like
I can't believe some of the people that are like believing it. Like I'm like, you were years ago. You were one of the people who was actually speaking out about the war on terror and Iraq and Afghanistan being false wars, and now you're promoting corporate bullshit, establishment bullshit about Russia that has no backing. If you can show me any type of backing, I would love it, because I haven't seen anything. But it's just insane.
Well, hey, they spent $4,000 on ads on Facebook. That's very suspicious.
Is that what the number was? I didn't even know how much it was.
It's way low. Yeah, it's like insignificant.
That's way too insignificant.
While at the same time,
4,000.
Yeah, they had. I mean, but at the same time, if you go back to 2008, they were gloating about how they had gotten Barack Obama elected. That was early Facebook, way back. It was all a talking point, badge of honor back then. But now,
Stratfor admitted that they rigged that election. Did you see that? Did you see those documents?
Stratfor?
Yeah.
That was the company that Jeremy Hammond hacked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the documents, it admits that the Democrats admit that they basically rigged the election for Obama in 2008. Which who was Obama running against in 2008?
God, I was really high.
McCain or Romney, wasn't it?
If it was Mitt Romney, then okay, I'm all for the rigging. Good job, guys. Good job.
That was really not much change there.
Well, we would have been fucked with Mitt Romney. So,
well, no, he had Romney Care before Obama was even around. There was Romney Care, man. You got to remember that. The Republicans came up with that shit first. Romney Care in Massachusetts. Look it up, man. He started
Romney
that shit
Care.
early. Yep.
I would never trust Mitt Romney with health care.
It's still going to this day.
You can't even trust Mitt Romney with toy companies. Why would you trust him with health care?
Oh, come on. He's a Mormon. He's a good guy.
It was Romney Care and it was Obamacare, and they were like two-word difference between the two, right? Something like
Is that what it was?
Yeah, there was the verbiage was a little different on one or the other. They basically said the same thing. I remember that.
I'm trying to think. Now, this came out of think tanks again, with that Newt Gingrich and all these other neocons, because they were throwing the idea out there, kind of pushed it for a little bit. They couldn't get it going with Hillary way back when. Remember, she wanted free health care during the Clinton administration, but at that time you couldn't get it done. But that was a Republican idea that they stole, trying to get it going through her.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now we have Trump Care, where the government shut down.
I think it was just like an establishment idea. They wanted through no matter what political president there was.
Yeah.
Like they just pushed it on both sides.
Yeah, you can always, and you can flip roles. It's a good cop, bad cop thing. You say, "Oh, Tyler, look at what you did. Oh, good cop back, and here comes the other guy. Oh, well, you shouldn't have done that." And the next time you flip the roles. Oh, yeah, well, that's a great idea, Tyler. It's like, back and forth until the dumbasses, or until they get enough traction, enough fools to go along with it, useful idiots, and then there you go. It's like, yeah, we'll get it. But yeah, I don't know when Romney got it going. I want to say it was the 90s or late 80s when he was governor of Massachusetts.
Huh. I had no idea about Romney Care. I would never trust Mitt Romney with health care.
No, I don't trust any of these motherfuckers. Romney, Obama, it's just no way.
But Mitt Romney especially, no.
Well, when I look at him now, I look at here's how they end up at the end of the day is I look at Romney. He's your neocon, corporate fascist type of guy. that loves merging that with one of his companies to make money. On the other side, you have an Obama who's a Marxist, socialist, communist, whatever, but he's for it too because they like free healthcare too, and all that. It's what they believe in, the whole common philosophy, and he will do his deals behind the scene with the government. He's not so corporate minded, but he'll steal government money and some other underhanded deal to make his money.
Right.
So at the end of the day, yeah. So they both merge at the end. They're all like, "Oh, we all met at the same place here," and off they go, and you get fucked.
Yeah, well, that's why I wouldn't trust him. I mean, it would be just like, Romney Healthcare. It's there one day, and it's gone the next day because he bankrupted the company.
Yeah, he's a corporate shark. Why would you ever believe a corporate shark? You can't be that stupid. Don't you have any instinct at all? Survival instinct?
Well, both of those plans were designed to fail. They were never designed to sustain anything.
Yeah. So whether it's a pump and dump stock like Facebook or Obamacare, yeah, it's all pump and dump now. This is the new Ponzi scheme, Wall Street economics, where they make a ton of money and all the investors get fucked, and or taxpayers.
Well,
because we all know
that's what they do.
Yeah,
they do these spin. It's called spin and dump schemes.
Pump and dump, spin and dump. But
spin and dump is different than pump and dump.
Pump and dump.
I know all the different. Yeah, I know all the different schemes and stuff. But yeah, that's what they do. They do all these different schemes on the markets, and people are none the wiser.
Yeah, call it something new. Oh, it's derivatives. Well, what's that? Hell, they don't even know what it is, but you could trade it. Somebody's trading it. Even their actuaries don't know. But anytime somebody tells you too big to fail, that's not capitalism, right? That doesn't sound like capitalism to me. That's criminal activity, institutionalized, systemic criminal activity.
Unless you're talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Too big to fail,
Yeah. I'm leery of Bitcoin.
It's difficult.
Only because
it's definitely volatile, but it won't disappear.
Here's what I don't get is like this whole blockchain is like the ledger that never goes away. It's like every transaction is encrypted in there somehow. And it's
it's actually clear text.
Huh?
You can't see what a person bought, but you can see what and how much was transferred. Everything's public.
Okay, but not exactly what it is. Okay, but there's still some kind of ledger of activity, right?
Always.
Whereas, and me, hey, I mean, even a shitty Federal Reserve note is better than that because it's just a dollar bill in my hand. They got no idea what I bought with it.
Well,
I would rather have that.
They do have blockchains. They do have blockchains that don't like XMR. I forget, what is XMR? What's its full? Monero doesn't. It's yeah.
Yeah, they do have private cryptocurrencies, but Bitcoin is the big popular one, and even then, it's pseudo anonymous. It's pseudo anonymous to the point of where you reveal your address online somewhere, or you transfer your coins without a coin swap to like Coinbase and then sell.
Well, there's also cryptocurrency escrows, so it doesn't look like you're the one actually doing the transaction.
Yeah, right.
Like middlemen. Like I've done that.
Right. Yeah, we're teaching everybody right now how to money launder. So let's stop before the doors get kicked in.
Really, you're worried about that now?
Let's see.
Do you remember why you came on air tonight?
10,000 documents, 1 year. How much is a year for each? Yeah, it's 10,000 years, and you're worried about another 50.
I think we talk about 5 years for each breached computer.
Oh God.
Watch,
Oh,
we're
shit.
going to prison tomorrow.
Yeah. FEMA Camp FEMA, you know.
Obvious retrainment is required.
Re-education
Well,
camps.
you remember when what's his name?
Yeah.
Remember when what's his name got busted? You remember Barrett Brown when he got busted? He was doing a live stream with him in the bathtub, and he got arrested.
Yeah.
Hey, none of you is in the bathtub right now, right?
Yeah, all I hear is knock,
No.
knock, knock, knock.
Bathtub is for bad luck, guys.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You guys didn't notice Terrence dropped out again?
Oh, I was having so much fun, I almost forgot. Sorry.
Terrence dropped out again. I mean, talking about bathtubs and stuff. I mean,
He needs to get a new VPN. Something's
Or
got
he
to
needs to
change
get
over
it. Or
there.
he needs. You know what he might be having? On some expensive phones, and now I know because Apple products do it, and cheap phones. If you're using Wi-Fi, if you turn off IP version 6, like there's some routing problems on some of these phones. If you turn it off, it works. Don't ask me why. It's just like one of those IT fucking fixes that I found. You know, turning off, turning on kind of things. Maybe this will make it work.
it's because it's not stable yet, and you shouldn't use IPv6 anyway because it's. Yeah.
I mean,
that.
I really haven't had a problem with using IP version 6 like on any device, but like now I got this iOS 12.1.1, and I can't use. I've even turned off the IP version 6 on my router, and it still won't work. So now I'm thinking that it's actually the app somewhere in Apple's software. Like I've tried everything. Like I have no idea why this thing will just drop off with my internet connection on Wi-Fi on this device. This is why Apple's stock dropped anyway, is they don't like I'm not like people won't buy the iPhone X or any of the X products because they know this is a problem. This is a huge problem. Anyway, that's.
Honestly, I think it was a big fluke.
You think? Well, I heard it was a deal with Qualcomm, and they had to, they were using what I kind of got out of reading a bunch of shit is that they didn't have the rights to kind of use what was in there, so they had to somehow write software over it to kind of use the hardware that was in there, and they just pumped something out and it didn't work and it bricked like millions of phones.
Well, that's poor engineering for one, and it's poor testing before they even release a device. At least it wasn't like Samsung where the phones were just blowing up, you know.
Oh yeah. But they've had this problem since September, so this is like not a new thing. It's just gradually got worse from each update.
It's probably defective.
We've seen, Microsoft's done that for years. I mean, the software, every time they put out a new software, I mean, it's like you were debugging it for them for the first 6 months.
Windows, what was it? Was it Windows 8.1 that was like that buggy, or what one was it? What version? Do you remember?
Windows 8. Windows 8.
98 was, which one?
98?
98 was a piece of shit, yeah.
Well, Windows 7...
everyone is saying something else. They have always buggy.
Yeah,
Windows Me, that's what it was. It was Windows Me. It was the worst version ever, and it was so buggy.
They didn't even support it for like a year or two. It was like after that, Windows XP came out.
Yeah. That's what it was. Windows Me.
Windows
it was
XP was
so
pretty
buggy.
solid, you know, like if I had that operating system, which kind of reminds me of like a it doesn't work like Linux, but it kind of reminds me of stuff that run. You know what I mean? Like most Linux distros will run on pretty much nothing, and that's what Windows XP does. That's where Windows should have stopped. Just stopped at Windows XP, you know, instead of like putting all this bloatware in the background.
They had to keep the NSA key. The NSA wanted access to your system.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know, when you install Windows 10 now, they ask you all these weird questions like
Yes.
Do you want to share analytics with us? Do you want us to limit ads? I'm like, this is an operating system. Why am I telling you how many ads I want you to see? It's a fucking operating system. There should be no ads.
Do you want Cortana to listen to you? Like what? What?
Do you want me to use
what?
Yeah, then also ask me, do you want to use GPS function? I'm like, this is a fucking laptop. It doesn't have a GPS in there.
And
fucking
well,
insane.
if and then if you say no, you click no, they're going to do whatever the fuck they want anyway. So why ask a question?
We enabled it anyway, even though you said no.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook does that all the time. It's like, well, yeah, okay, you caught us, and then you just go on. It's like, yeah, you click no and it doesn't work. Fuck you.
Did you see that that Facebook had GPS on no matter what, even if you turned it off?
Yes. Yeah, same thing with same thing. Google got caught with that with their Android versions. It's to literally turn it off. And this was from a Berkeley computer science. This was a project from a bunch of students. They had to literally go into the deep into the operating system to 100% turn that thing off. It was not easy.
Yeah, it's insane. But I'm not sure if Facebook is still a native app, but that kind of says something, doesn't it? When Google has Facebook as a native app.
Well, I remember on correct me if I'm wrong, on the iPhone 4, it was on there, and then around that time, I remember the Androids, like when you booted up an Android, it had it on there already on certain.
Right.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And I was just like, okay, well now.
And you could never uninstall it.
Yeah. Now we know why it was in there, just to track us.
Yeah.
Well, you signed away everything when the terms of service, right?
Well, actually, no. I had an original account from 2006 or 7, right around after they let people out of Harvard have one, and my terms of service were a paragraph. So I didn't agree.
But did your terms of service say at the bottom, we are allowed to change our terms of service at any point in time? You agree?
It might have said that. I didn't pay attention, but I don't remember that.
That's usually what they do. Like, all these companies, they say that they're allowed to change their terms of service at any point in time, and you agree no matter if you continue using the service.
Yeah.
Twitter has that.
Yeah, Twitter keeps on changing it.
Right. Twitter actually changed their terms of service because of me, because I tried to sue them.
Because of the hack stuff. Like now, if you put any hacked materials, you'll lose your account.
No, they changed their terms of service because I said that I tried to sue them for loss of revenue because they took my other account, and because I don't know if it was just me, but I mean I was definitely one of the people who did that. And immediately after that, like a month after, they gave back my account, but then their terms of service changed, and then all of a sudden it says that you can't file legal liabilities for loss of revenue if your account's suspended or this or that. If we choose to suspend your account,
did they just make that up?
Huh?
That sounds like something they just pull out of their ass after they got sued.
Yeah, right. Well, I didn't fully sue them, but I had a lawyer write to them and say something like that. In an essence, something like that. And I know that other people were filing lawsuits against Twitter as well. So as soon as all that stuff happened, after that, they changed their terms of service. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Well, but at the end of the day, it's still probably an illegal contract because you can't run a public square, even if it's privately owned.
To the First Amendment,
And-
yeah, they
and
can't.
do that.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're making up shit, and people are believing that it's actual law.
You know, it's the whole prima facie argument. It's a law on its face, and if you follow it, that's great. But
it's
it
made
really
up.
is no law.
Yeah.
It's just made up. Yeah, prima facie law, which is most of the laws that are out there.
That's true.
Well, it's not really a law. It's just a terms of service. It's just them basically saying we can do whatever the fuck we want with your account. If you don't like it, then you can't use the service.
Yeah, but technically you're not allowed to sign agreements to break the law together, right?
I don't think
If you're breaking the, if you're breaking the law, then you make
it's an-
someone sign.
It's an illegal
Go ahead.
contract. It's an illegal contract.
Oh shit! I didn't think about it that way. That's a mind fuck right there,
Yeah, that is a mind fuck.
Yeah.
dude. I gotta
It's
remember
just
that.
like-
I gotta
it's-
remember that next time somebody's got some problems with a Twitter
Well,
account.
Yeah, let's say you have somebody that's got a 50 IQ and you get him to sign some document that allows you to kill him. You just can't do that. You know, that's an illegal contract. You can't do that. There are some things you can't do. Even corporations, they like to tell you that they can do whatever the fuck they want, but the truth is that's not true. And why, if you sue them so often, you get away with, well, you don't get away with it. You win because they are full of shit. They cannot enforce what they do.
Well, wait. It's actually very hard to sue a corporation because then you have one lawyer, and then they have about 10 or 20.
Yeah, but if you're bringing up the better argument, this is like activists out of the 60s or 70s, civil rights, where it's like, look, if you bring a better argument, even if you're one guy who's bringing that argument, you win.
Yeah,
If you're
but
in a
most of the
fair
time
court,
the judge is
now,
bought.
Yeah,
right,
that's,
there you go.
It's not that
yeah.
simple. Yeah, it takes years, and that's why these people. I mean, you see something like, even Ginsburg. That's kind of how she got started.
Oh my god.
An activist, lawyer, et cetera. But it takes a lot of effort because you're dealing with total scumbags who don't give a fuck about anything except their dollar. They don't care about you.
Right.
What is this?
Drum roll.
No, I didn't know a non-official was still a thing anymore, and they're pumping out fucking copy paste videos. It's just garbage.
But it's
Yeah.
official.
What?
Well,
It's
well,
official.
it's official. They make money.
It says it. It's official. Tyler, come on.
Dude, the quality of their videos are getting worse and worse. It's like they don't even know how to use Adobe After Effects or anything anymore. It's like, yeah, man, like, if I cut out this video and I do that video, and like half of their video is fucking stolen from other people. Like, it only takes one report to take this thing down.
Hey, one of them gave up, Tyler. That anonymous global account.
Did he?
It was related. Yeah, he changed all his video to gaming videos. He's now anonymous. He's now playing games on what is it, on Twitch? And he's like posting. He's posting only videos of him being anonymous in the game and shooting people.
He's posting anonymous videos of him shooting people.
Someone says,
Yeah,
Morbid Monkey is saying, can someone please take down QAnon? Well, that's kind of like difficult because now...
No. It actually already happened. 8chan just banned Q.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the 8chan admin was just exposed the QAnon thing. This is like
finally done with the
just
trolls.
recent-
With the troll stuff.
Yeah, this is just like recent breaking news.
Because they are really pumping that shit to the Trump.
How long ago did this
Trump
happen?
love
Like
crew.
like a day ago or 2 days ago?
Yeah, like a day ago or a few days ago. It wasn't that long ago. But the 8chan admin
the midget
basically
guy.
exposed. Yeah, right. He exposed Q, and he said it's fake. It's a LARP. It's fake.
Of course it is.
No shit. No fucking shit.
Trust the plan, but nobody knows what the plan is.
Trust the plan, guys. Trust Sessions. Wait, Sessions is gone. Hold on. Let me rewrite this script.
Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden is the enemy, but trust the plan, right?
What was the fucking crazy shit that they said? I was like, wait.
Oh,
what?
they've had some wild ones, man.
Of course they've had wild ones.
Yeah, we're it's like, it goes into a military. It's like, and there was this coup behind the scenes. The military was able to interdict and took the rogue operators down, and then they show these guys, waving flags. And it's like, and now Donald Trump, and it's just like, oh my god.
So where are they getting?
I can't believe people believe this shit. But the Trump people, I can tell you, man, as a Republican, these Trump people, they eat that shit up, big time.
So where is this QAnon posting to if it's not HN? He's not posted no more?
For all I know, is that the HN admin exposed Q and kicked them off of the board.
It's all over YouTube. Crap putting out. I mean, people are putting out all kinds of Q crap. I mean, it's got a life of its own now.
Yeah, but it'll die. It's not.
They already got a new project, that anonymous charity thing.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, this is anonymous charity. They actually had a thing called The Purge 2.0, and they had some other stuff. But then they also upload videos on their channel saying Anonymous has proved the Earth is flat and stuff.
Yeah.
I always wonder if those are CIA operations to make us look stupid.
It has to be, right? Because, I mean, who the fuck is going to say the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
The Catholic.
We had a few guests on here. remember we had those flat earthers, and they were just getting drunk and stoned while they were on here, and they kept on. They had an excuse for everything. Remember, I said, well, how does the water stay on the Earth? Well, there's a big wall and it holds it in. I was like, motherfucker, did you
is that Donald Trump's wall?
Yeah, I was like, bro,
does Donald Trump's wall hold it in?
I was like, bro, I don't know where you got your education, but you were obviously dropped on your head, several times.
But they were ready.
You see their flat earthers. Gravity holds the water.
I think they were dimensionally challenged. I don't know what kind of
dimensionally challenged.
Dimensionally
challenged. Well, obviously,
there was a guy in Apple Valley, California, who had a steam-powered rocket who launched himself. He was a flat earther, and they funded it. And he went up 1,500 feet to prove that the Earth wasn't round. Okay, in physics world, in rocket science, okay, you need to travel at least 100,000 feet up to see the curvature of the Earth. At least 75,000 feet. You can't see it at 1,500 feet.
I do remember that though, and it was fucking hilarious.
It's almost like these people are so fucking stupid. Like you need to die. Just please. There's no purpose.
Well, it might be
do
CIA
not breed.
Funded.
Yeah.
It might be CIA funded. You got to remember that the CIA funded art projects to create crap to diminish the value of art.
What?
I mean, this is the kind of shit they do.
No, that's real, really? What is that called? What operation is that?
Oh gosh, that's an old one, man. That was when I wanted to say 60s, 70s, when you started to see these museums put up where somebody looked like they just splashed a gallon of paint and then pissed on a piece of canvas.
Oh, Andy Warhol shit.
That's art, and that was all coming from them.
Andy
CIA
Warhol.
They funded MS Magazine. Ms. Magazine is funded by the CIA. They fund all kinds of shit.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, right. And their venture capital arm funds most of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, so that's the conglomerate. See, that's because of what all their black money and what they can do. No, audit trail or anything. They've built this now. They run it.
Yeah, but you got to find that that operation and send it to me because I want to laugh at that. That's hilarious.
Well,
I've never heard that.
Right, where the CIA spent like $100 million on like psychics to find targets for assassins.
That was Project Stargate.
Yeah, they were.
It works.
Uri Geller. Who was the other one? Uri Geller and fuck. What was his name? I can't remember now.
Well, I remember I remember from. I used to listen to Art Bell when I was a kid, all the way up until about college, and I heard this over and over. But they dumped a lot of money into that.
Yeah, they dumped at least I think it's like 5 or 10 million.
Something like that.
Yeah, so they had to have some type of results, right?
Well,
Like,
this was back in like '60s money, right? '60s and '70s money, so that was a lot.
yeah, right. But I mean, they had to have had some type of results to dump that much money into the project, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know that the whole remote viewing thing actually comes from Nazi Germany, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Nazis, the SS, were actually involved in those same type of experiments. Believe it or not, there was a film. It was called Men Who Stare at Goats. It's actually really not
I saw that.
that far off from the truth. Yeah, that's not actually that far off from the truth.
Do you ever see the Die Glock?
No.
That was like a Nazi. It was supposed to be a anti-gravity machine that would use mercury for its engine, and
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, that was something the Nazis spent a lot of money on. I don't know a whole lot about it other than that.
Well, Werner von Braun worked on the first rocket for the Nazis. And he was probably working on that as well.
Oh,
but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because when they brought him over here under Operation Paperclip.
Yeah.
When they brought him over here over Operation Paperclip, they brought over who was the other guy? The guy who was infamous in MK Ultra. He's a CIA guy.
They weren't talking about the Angel of Death, were they?
No. No.
That guy was like dyeing people's eyes blues and shit.
Yeah, no.
Joseph Mengele, that you mean? Mengele.
That was that the CIA guy? That's
I think
Angel of Death.
That was he got used later by the CIA. I think Mengele. He survived. I don't know if he survived the war or not. Anyway.
Well, we now know that Hitler escaped Argentina.
Well, yeah,
years later.
Well, yeah. I mean, I watched that Hunting Hitler. I watched the whole thing on the History Channel, and I saw the photograph of him, possibly what they think is in the 70s, and there's enough evidence to say that he did not die in Germany, and he was definitely in Argentina at one point.
Did you see the Nazi memorabilia that was found in Argentina?
Oh yeah, they had a whole Nazi colony going on there. In fact, their plan was to invade the United States from South America, and most of South America would sympathize with the Nazis because they were close enough to socialism. So a lot of South American countries support it, including Chile. So it's not far off to think that he had escaped there. And plus the photograph that they had found from the 70s, and the tons of documents that come out of the FOIA requests, within the last 10 years about the FBI was looking around for Hitler for a good 20, 30 years. They were convinced he wasn't dead.
Yep. They were convinced he wasn't dead, and like I said, the Nazi memorabilia that they just found a few years ago is a absolute smoking gun that Hitler was there because of what they found. They found Hitler's magnifying glass, and they found something else. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head,
Was it the
but it was
pepsin?
something.
The pepsin. He had a specific medicine for his stomach condition.
No, no, no. It wasn't any type of medicine. It was actually like a material item. I just can't remember what it was. It wasn't a crown though. It was a magnifying glass, and there was something else, and I can't remember what it was. And they also found something about one of those nose measuring tools they had for measuring noses for Jews.
Oh, I gotcha.
They found that as well, but there was something that was a big smoking gun that they found that kind of pointed that it was definitely Hitler that was there. I just can't remember off the top of my head what it was.
Okay, well, the FBI documents actually, yeah, they say they were like still searching for Hitler after the war. So yeah, it's pretty much confirmed that the pictures released of like a dead Hitler were fake. So yeah.
Well, they also, I mean, the picture that we see from the '70s of Hitler with like this new wife, in definitely of Hispanic descent, like that's definitely Hitler, dude. Like if it's not, it's a spit fucking image of him.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're talking. I know exactly what images you're talking about.
Yeah, and there have been some reports of nurses claiming they've been treating him in local hospitals in Argentina.
Yeah, that too. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was not the only Nazi who went there. I mean, it's like filled with Nazis, and even the regime after that with Sorregeta and stuff was very much involved with similar stuff, like throwing people out of airplanes above the ocean and stuff. So it is it's very dirty political history there.
Well, Duterte, the Philippines president, he likes to throw people out of helicopters and airplanes.
Oh yeah, he likes to kill drug addicts too.
Yes, yeah. That's what he did. He threw a drug lord out of a plane or out of a helicopter. I forget which it was, but it was just like, what? No way, that's real. Oh my god, that's really real.
I don't know. People, and the thing is, that people in the Philippines like him.
Yeah, and it's a little strange.
Yeah, but
it's because it's the criminal aspect of it. I mean, it's once the crime, the gangs get in there and control things, and they can keep the situation relatively stable. People will put up with it. But if it's just crime coming in and they're going crazy, and there's that much more crime, well, then they're not going to be for it.
Well, what I came across, and I came across this, in my early hacking days, is that I came across hackers from the Philippines, and they were highly tied to street gangs. And I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? So you guys have black hat hackers that are tied to street gangs.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like a weird concept for me to like, because most hackers don't kind of, those are two different worlds,
It's not though, because there's hackers who are Bloods and hackers that are Crips.
Not anymore, yeah. Well, they got away from the old way of gang banging. Well, you saw that like in some of these real estate bubbles now. That gangs will get in, even in on some of those scams, because they can make so much more money than dealing drugs. Even if you're doing real estate fraud, well, they don't care.
Yep.
They get a loan, burn it, they're friggin' gone. They got $100,000, $200,000, man. It's a big heist.
Yeah. Not only just that though, but like carding and stuff like that, the gangs they'll pay big for that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for carding.
Yeah, right. So these like gangs now, if you have technical skills, you're a pretty big person, to be honest.
I'll send some links there in the chat for the CIA art.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Like Cold War 50s and 60s, yeah.
Oh, this was during the Cold War? What were they making, like fake Russian pictures?
Well, it's the weird way they operate. The CIA's hiring communists and people from Russia. It's just like, they have a method to their madness that makes sense. At some point down the line, I don't know. I wonder sometimes. I don't know if that made any sense or not. It's just one of the things they were doing.
No, that
Trying
definitely
to,
makes. Yeah.
trying to discredit art and discredit certain groups, art
Right.
groups and so forth. Yeah, it's probably one of their targeted. They were going after somebody in a targeted way.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's nothing new.
But they'll do anything, man. I mean, it's just an un-American thing to do. It's just like, hey, art market's an art market. Just leave it alone. Why the fuck you guys got to alphabet agencies got to get in here and the art market
because
museums
if
and
we
shit?
plunder the art world, we'll just discredit society altogether, and they'll all become slaves.
Yeah.
And this weird guy in the corner is like, whoa.
Yeah, but you know what? That guy really is there in the corner. That's the problem. He really is there.
Oh God, CIA is always a creepy kid in the corner that's really doing some crazy shit, like the gay bombs and stuff, where they thought if they dropped pheromones over an enemy, they would become homosexuals.
Was that real?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, no, it's real. They actually
I've never heard that. That's hilarious.
That works.
They also tried to use acid as a weapon, LSD, and they were...
Yes, yeah. I knew that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they actually really tried to drop pheromones.
Yeah.
That's funny.
They called it the gay bomb.
God.
Aren't they the same guys
Now if they did that today, there'd be protests. It would be so bad for them. They would have people flooding their office. It would be hilarious.
Well, wait a minute. Prove they haven't done it. Just look around. They're everywhere, man.
The frogs are fucking gay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. That I wanted to make that link with Alex Jones saying the frogs are gay. Seriously, like they must have tested that somewhere then.
Yeah, he was a black researcher. He's actually come up with that link attribute. He shows it in this. It's not even a documentary. It's like a 5 or 6 minute. He shows you. It's like, yeah, here's what I do. And next thing you know, look at that frog right there. He's all fucked up. Yeah.
Turn the freaking frogs gay.
It's real. Oh, but it's a big joke. To all the high IQ intellectuals out there in this world on Planet Jackass, that's all real funny. Yeah, because GMOs don't hurt you. Vaccines are great. It's like, come on, get with the program. The government's looking out for you.
Oh yeah, GMOs. Let me tell you, Monsanto, best company ever.
Yeah,
they did not help they did not help create PCBs. They did not help with the chemical for the atom bomb. They did not help Agent Orange. Anything more? Anybody want to add?
Remember mesothelioma and that one guy? They killed a janitor. Remember the Roundup got all over his body. He died in it. They gave him $200 million, and he only had so many months to live, and they countersued to try and not let him have the money. I'm like, this dude is on his deathbed, and it's all your fault, and you want to postpone him getting his money because you don't want to pay up? That is the most fucked up shit. He's on his deathbed.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, it did. He won $200 million or some shit.
Tyler, don't you ever get that urge to be a corporate dick?
I couldn't.
Ever?
I could never do anything like that in my life.
Oh.
It's not my nature.
Oh, okay. Well.
Sorry, Preston.
You don't want to be a corporate dick either?
No.
Man.
Not when somebody's
I think you're all alone in that one. Yeah, I think you're all alone in that one.
Well, I'm not saying I do either. Hey, I've worked with corporate dicks. I've worked for Dow 30 companies, man. It sucks balls. And sucking balls is actually a better way to get going in a Dow 30
could you imagine the conversation that they had at the table? They're like, oh, we have to pay up $200 million. Oh, countersuit. He'll die anyway.
We can do that? Is it legal? Is it ethical? Who gives a fuck? Let's do it.
We're not paying him the $200 million.
No.
Are we sure we can do that? Oh, yeah. We can? Oh, all right. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's certainly not ethical, but is it legal? Can we get away with it? Oh, we can? Oh, well, fuck yeah, we're going to do it. It's like, I mean, we got to think about our bonuses. Fuck this guy. He's just one guy. There's 12 people around the round table here. You know, we got families to feed. You know, come on.
There's about 7-8 billion people left in the world. We'll be good. We'll be good.
Jesus.
There's no shortage of people.
Oh man, I can't believe they did that. That's crazy.
They did.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, you have to think like I call it the ultimate CEO. It's just being an ultimate dick, an ultimate asshole. But dress it up a little bit. You can say you're the ultimate CEO. It's like you don't give a fuck about anybody. It's all about the money.
Well, that's the type of person who walks into the office and then just stares at the secretary and is like, "You're fired."
Hey, we had.
Why? Because it made me feel good.
No. There's always a guy like that at a company. When I was with Coors, there was an old guy. He had cancer and his wife had died of cancer, and they made him like the corporate chop guy. It's every time that guy showed up at your plant, somebody was getting fired. Middle manager above, heads were going to roll, and so you never wanted to see this guy. You never really knew where he was, or you didn't go to too many meetings or anything. But when he showed up at your plant, somebody was going to get fired. And because this guy didn't give a fuck. He was the coldest, hardest bastard I ever see. He'd just walk in there and tell him that, put your shit in a box. You had 10, 15 minutes, put all your shit in a box and get out.
Holy fuck.
Hey. But hey, to be honest, it's like, come on, if you were doing your job, I mean, I was never under a threat like that. It's like, look, unless you were just really fucking up, it was every time there was a huge fuck up, then guys got fired. And they deserved it, honestly. I mean, I didn't even I didn't even care about them. So I'm glad they're gone. Fuck them, They're fucking this plan up, keeping me out of a bonus, And I was just a little guy. I just wanted my little $500 or $1,000 bonus, But if some jackass middle manager or higher up, makes some $1 million fuck up, and those guys fuck up all the time, then, he needs to go, I got no loyalty to a moron like that. See, that's how you have to think. You see how easy it was for me to get there?
You just justified. If I justified this bad thing in my head, everything's cool.
Yeah, because it's about my job, my money. At the same time, it's proper because you're getting rid of low IQ jackasses usually who need to go anyway. Who needs them? Fuck them, right? They're messing up my show.
My show?
Yeah. This is my company, Get the fuck out.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I miss the paycheck. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, if I was making $500,000 a year, I'd fucking be on Easy Street. I don't even make anywhere near that.
No. So what's your number, Tyler? What number do they have to hit to where you would think like that and could be craven?
I don't know. At least $1 million.
Million, okay. But well, that's a good number. I mean, because at least it's not like $10,000 or $50,000 like some chump change donation to like your public official. See, those guys they'll drop on you for that kind of money. They'll fuck the whole country if they can get a $50,000 donation to their next re-election fund.
Well, I figure if I live like a poor man like I am right now, I could probably live 30 years on $1 million, So I wouldn't have to work for a long time.
Yeah. Or
I don't know, but 30 years, 1 million on 30 years, so that's like 35,000 a year.
That's about how much I make.
In my country, that's a lot of money. I don't know, but
not in the United States. That's like chump change.
Yeah, that barely.
Yeah, no, that's not that much. But I mean, I'm living off of way less. So
and I work at a medical facility, and that's.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think maybe like a pro bono lawyer makes about that here. I think.
Damn.
Like a state lawyer. I think it's like twice the amount a police officer makes here.
And I told you one of my
That's crazy.
one of my
Holy cow.
patients tried to kill me a few months ago, and I still get paid almost nothing.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried to kill me.
Yeah, it's like
How
fighting
did
patients.
he try to kill you?
Yeah, he was high on heroin, and he said he was gonna. I was telling him you need to leave, and he tried to kill me. And I called the police, and it took him 2 hours to get to where I was, and I had to get security to come over and get him, and I was like, by the police got there, like nothing happened, and then I find out like it was like a sad story. The guy ended up killing himself that night, and I was like, holy shit! Like I get paid this little amount for that much trouble.
He killed himself?
Oh yeah, yeah. The next day.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
Well, if
Well,
you
that's the
threaten to
thing,
kill
like-
you, I mean,
Those type of drugs will fuck you up.
Yeah.
They'll put you in a mental place where you don't even believe that where you would be.
Yeah.
they don't call them hard drugs for nothing.
Exactly.
Right. Most people can't even fucking handle regular life, let alone fucking heroin. I mean, shit.
All right, guys.
Never.
We got 2 minutes.
I've never heard of a functional heroin addict. Functional drunk, functional pot smoker, but never a functional heroin addict.
No, it easily doesn't. Those two words don't exist together.
Yeah, or functional crackhead. No, that can't happen.
All right, so we got about a minute left. Any last words, guys?
Thanks to our listeners.
Hopefully we're
Of
around.
course,
Hopefully,
I mean-
hopefully we're around next week and we don't all get arrested by the FBI. We will be.
Yeah, for looking into those documents, right?
We do have listeners, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, we had commented. I'm sorry. Of course we do.
And we hopefully we'll be back by next Thursday. If we're not, you know where I am. I'll be. Just look me up in a federal correctional facility.
What's your SID number?
Don't know yet.
Tyler, don't jinx this shit, seriously.
And we'll roll out with the credits.
Dun 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 dun.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly.